Welcome everybody to the Kayfabe and Chill show after Mania. And boy, do we got a lot to talk about. Triple H gave us way too much to talk about. So prepare for the 3-hour episode. But before we get into that, let me introduce my co-hosts, my tag team partners. Starting off, I like the name change, by the way. Really appreciate it. We have Mr. Steal Your Mom, the Cougar Connoisseur, Ephraim. How you feeling, man?
We're going zero middle. Right
Zero
there.
middle.
Some penta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. How are y'all?
All
Good,
right.
good. It's about time you finally acknowledged the Cougar Connoisseur, man. Last
Uh,
episode, you didn't want to claim it as much. Now you've embraced it. I love that.
Something felt off last episode, and I was like, I don't know what the feeling is. I guess me being too serious. But I was like, no. I need to bring it back. I haven't read the Google Connoisseur. Once we start making T-shirts, we're rocketing off with those.
I love it. And on the other end is my homie, my friend, the San Antonio Romeo, Ray Corder.
What's up, man? It's been a crazy weekend.
Indeed. Oh man, I was just telling you guys before we started how my weekend went, and yeah. So of course there was 420, there was Easter Sunday, there was
420.
also, but arguably the most important of them all is motherfucking WrestleMania weekend,
Let's
baby.
go.
Ooh.
The
Yeah.
show of shows, the what are the show of the immortals,
The showcase of the Immortals, yeah.
the showcase of the immortals. That is the epitome of gassing it up. I love
Mhm.
that. But yeah, guys, WrestleMania 41 came and went. And it was definitely a memorable one, for better or for worse. And so I do want to just sort of get right into it in terms of what happened, what we liked. So general thoughts on the evening, on both evenings. And we're gonna cut right into the main event. But yeah, Ray, why don't you start us off, man? Like, what are your thoughts on general thoughts on how the weekend went?
It was interesting to say the least. A lot of matches, seeing how a lot of people were reacting. Obviously, there was like the whole incident on night two with Stone Cold, which honestly, that's what I've been keeping up with more too. Just like, really?
That
Uh,
lady stole like LeBron, not gonna lie.
Hey man, get that money. She's gonna get every single dollar out of the Federation.
did
She
you
the
see another fan
flops.
got hit? Did you see another fan got hit though?
No, really?
Oh yeah,
No.
that was
Damn.
crazy.
Was it
Hey
that
man,
video you sent earlier?
I think so. But like to be fair, that one also looked like she ran into it. I'm just like, there's a lot of them. Like, really? Come on, man.
I don't know.
But other than that, other than like the fan interactions, it was interesting. It was interesting. I gotta explain it when we open up with the matches, so that way be like,
yeah. Here's
really?
a question. Here's how I'll frame it. Did it
Here you go.
feel like the season finale of this past year in wrestling to you?
No,
Okay.
no.
I like a Dexter finale. The original Dexter show. That ending was really horrible. Yeah.
It's like How I Met Your Mother ending. Some people are gonna like
Yeah.
it. Some people are gonna like
That's a great
absolutely hate it.
comparison. That's a great
Yeah.
comparison. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. You think you are about to get the good ending, and then all of a sudden,
Psych.
a cancer walks into the room and takes far too long to walk down the ramp, to interfere. But anyways, Ephraim, how about you? Are you along the same lines as Ray? Were you kind of iffy on the weekend,
Um,
or where are you at?
the weekend had its hype. I think WrestleMania 40, 39 had a different feel than 41. Like I said from last week's podcast, I feel like this Mania was slow builds and not great builds to any of the matches, not slow ones, but no build at all. I mean, overall, it's very interesting night. I think it was it's a lot to talk about,
Yeah.
and that's something. It's like I don't want to show on it because what Triple H said, just watch and enjoy, which is
Yeah,
something really hard for
just
us to do.
don't be a critic. Just be a
Don't be a
fan.
critic. Yeah, I'm
I don't know
like,
why my Triple H sounds like Kingpin. I love wrestling. I love
I'm
sports
the
entertainment.
boy.
Vanessa, have you watched this thing called WWE? But no, it was a very interesting night. it wasn't so bad. Um, we'll get more into it when we
Yeah.
start opening this up. It's a very hard
Yeah.
subject to get into at the moment.
Yeah, no, you know what? Let's just dive right into it. Let's start at the end with
Really,
this is what we saw. Um, this is how we ended the weekend. My question to y'all, how we'll start this off was similar to my question to Ray. Ephraim, this was obviously championship number 17, breaking Ric Flair's
Yep.
record
yeah,
for most championships, most canon championships, I guess we'll describe.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, did you feel like the moment did the moment live up to what all the anticipation we were giving Cena's number 17 championship run?
No. And I know people want to talk about Cena's character, and we'll dive into that in a little bit. Well, I will,
I'll dive
but
into it too. Yeah.
yeah. But overall, as a match, main events are supposed to be like this earth-shaking event. Main events are supposed to be this big, what is it? Into the Spider Verse or Beyond the Spider Verse? They say canon event,
Yep.
Mm.
and I
Can.
feel like each WrestleMania main event should have that. Um, and I feel like that didn't deliver to us at the end. It was really hard to sit through. I remember watching it on my brother's couch and kind of being like, "What?" Like I was literally like crossing my legs, going on my phone every 3 or 4 seconds, trying to watch it the best I could. But it sounds a little weird, but Cody and Cena don't have chemistry on these two characters. That's something I felt like. There's kind of something I think some will agree and some won't agree on. Maybe it's just Cena's character, like what he was saying on the Pat McAfee show. He was saying like, "I'm gonna ruin wrestling. I'm not gonna do the things you want me to do. It's gonna be boring." I think that's a cop out answer. I think he's gonna try to say that to save face because how bad that match was.
Mm.
Um, and then it's not Cody. I think Cody did the best he could on that, and what he was given was that match. And I think he was like, "I'm trying my best here." Cena doesn't take sells well anymore. Like I think me and my brother kept talking about it. Cena doesn't take any bumps well at all.
Mm.
If you notice the Cody cutters, he's kind of stiff. What was it? The disaster kick. I think that's what it's called.
I
A
think
lot
so.
of his, yeah, DDTs, anything like that. He was very stiff.
And it didn't
Uh,
help at all that the whole thing about Cena being a heel now, wrestling as a heel, is that he's not going to give the fans what he wants. So the comeback, the signature shoulder tackles into the drop, he played it very slow. And it just, and also like even the beginning where Cody's like ramped up and he's like sort of like stepping and jabbing and doing all this stuff and Cena's just like, so the whole night I feel like it almost felt like Cena, I don't know, like it was already bedtime.
what's the term? It's like wrestling a broomstick. It's
Mm.
just there. It's
Yeah.
just there. You're throwing it around the ring. You're throwing it around outside. It's just there. And I think that's what Cody was doing the whole night. And maybe that's what Cena's plan was all along. But right now with this whole Cena character, I mean, we all saw what The Rock said.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's kind of annoying seeing,
Uh,
Mr. Goosebumps,
yeah, the bald fraud.
the
Wait,
bald fraud.
if you could shed light on speak on what The Rock was saying.
If I remember correctly, Rock was saying the final boss character was not going to show up in Mania to take away from the spotlight of Cena's Hill 17th title reign, which is something that, like y'all know my hate for The Rock. Y'all know, to the viewers, I hate The Rock. It's something that I
Pull
do
up the
not like.
receipts. Pull up the receipts.
They can pull up the group chat and see how much I hate that man. I do not like that man ever since he debuted against. I mean, when he returned against Cena at Mania all those years ago. Do not like that dude. But he said that it didn't need to I didn't need to be there because it would take away from the product, which I think that's the most wrong idea he's ever had in his life, and he has a lot of wrong ideas here. With that, what I mean by that is that Rock is so intertwined with Cody's story now that he doesn't understand that. He doesn't see it. That's how much he doesn't understand the product of what he's putting out, and he's just showing up for ticket grabs. Like he also
Mm.
stated on the podcast with McAfee, I showed up for Chamber for ticket sales. That Chamber needs to pick up revenue. The TK owner told him like, hey, come sign up, come join the show, come do this, do that. which really like, dude, what? Like, no, you're supposed to you're a wrestler. You should know the story that it holds and how much
Right.
impact you have on Cody's story. Like,
Was that not the most obvious damage control bullshit you've ever seen? It's like,
mm,
yeah, dog, you can't show up for a 20-second, literally like 20 seconds to a minute for the biggest night in wrestling, but you can show up for 40 minutes on a Pat McAfee podcast, and basically spill all the beans of like, yeah, you mentioned the whole Elimination Chamber thing, having low ticket sales, so that's the whole reason that he came on that show. And it's like, yeah, and what for me, what eats at me is like the whole like shut the hell up and let the final enjoy the ride that the final boss takes you.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
with
like the
what ride? Like, that's our bother. Like, oh, it irks me still. Like, what ride? You showed up for Chamber in Canada, and that's it. That's all you're giving us. And he's like, what? What else did he say? He's not going to wrestle anymore. Like, he's done wrestling, and
He, well, I don't know if it's the same quote you're thinking of, but he's basically saying that the final boss's work is done. That's
yeah, there
it.
you go.
And I'm just like you brought up the story. Like last year, it was in a problem. He was in that storyline for Cody. This year, which we don't really have an official reason why he's seen a turn, why he gave his soul to The Rock. And you're just gonna be like, all right, that's it. Deuces.
It's like a lot of loose ends that The Rock's not
Yeah,
giving us. Like the end all be all goal should be Rock versus Cody.
it should. Yeah.
Like it should be where y'all seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World, of course, right?
Yep.
yeah.
You
Hmm.
know how like he has to defeat Ramona several evil exes.
Mm.
Like Cody is Scott Pilgrim's world, and I'm not saying like whatever he has to date, but The Rock should be Ramona Flowers. He should be able to take out each evil ex, evil rival that The Rock's had before,
To get
Cena,
them. Yep.
to get to him. Yeah, that's something that get that title back. Like henchman. There's better comparisons, of course, but that's the first one that popped into my head.
Think I want
Yeah.
to see the movie again now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great film.
Hey,
Fantastic
look,
movie. Also, the
the
animated
anime is
series that
great.
just yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm
You know,
funny enough, I haven't seen it yet, so I might need to watch that after.
got to.
If you read the comic, you'll like it a lot more too.
Calm. Here, this is a tweet that I saw the other day that I think just speaks to where The Rock is at.
Hey yo,
And
we
then
just gonna bypass the second little thing there with Amari.
Hey man, X is just the weirdest app of all time. So I'm just gonna we're just gonna look
We're just
right
gonna
over
zoom
that.
in there right
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, this to me perfectly describes, I think, is a great feel for what the Rock, where the Rock is at, because yeah, the timeline mashes up, and now sort of I think back to that infamous CM Punk promo, and I probably will cut it in here. Um, is yeah, like this man allegedly loves the business. He allegedly is supposed to be like one of the biggest fans of wrestling and has what does he say? He said, "Don't just put a finger on the pulse, put your whole hand on the pulse, and allow yourself to know what the fans feel." This man has no idea how the fans feel, no idea what they like. He tried to interfere with last Mania and give us what people feel is a dream match, even though to be honest, that would just, in my opinion, it would have just been a slow 30 minutes of death for that match that they wanted to give us. And, yes, they finagled it into something better, but yeah, then proceeds to give us a bullshit ass Raw After Mania segment. Fuck off. Come to Bad Blood and have just like this weird interaction appearance with everybody. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'll give it to him. Had a great Elimination Chamber segment. And Solo Sikoa, the infamous line is like, it's all part of the plan, right? Or
Yep. I remember that. Yep.
Solo mentioned like there's a bigger plan at stake where
There was not a plan.
there
There
was
was
not a
no plan.
plan.
There is no 20 steps ahead. There's none of
Yep. It's like that meme. It's like, what's the polar bear doing in Arlington? It's like
Yeah.
that's what the Rocky is right now. It's like, what are you doing here? Like,
you know.
And so sorry, the last thing I just wanted to say, and I'll let
No,
you
yeah,
go,
you're good.
Ephraim, is people say, I've critiqued people for bringing their expectations into things and it ruining it for people when I think of like Multiverse of Madness, how that movie's to me is pretty good, but people just had
so much
so
hope.
many expectations of like, oh, we're gonna get Tobey Maguire, we're gonna get da da da, we're gonna get
Yeah,
this. get that. There's Ghost Rider, all this stuff. And, instead of just watching the movie in front of them. But here's the thing, this is different because if I'm led to believe that this past year, all the way starting back from Mania 40 is supposed to be one season of television,
Hmm.
you set up all these different plot points that you would ideally want to finish off at the season finale. But what if the big bad, quote unquote, of your show just doesn't even show up for
Yeah.
for the season finale?
No, yeah, that's the most annoying part. It's like Rock said, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do, and we're gonna make this so magical and special that you guys should keep watching." And you're kind of like, "No, we're gonna slap you right in the face and say I'm not showing up."
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what the hell is your problem? Like, and like before, like the Black Adam thing, like that. Another thing that annoyed me. Rock wants to be this great character, make Black Adam into this great big character to have, immediately go off fighting Superman. Like all comic book fans know that Black Adam's main arch rival is
Shazam.
Shazam,
Yeah.
in which he's like, oh, the hierarchy of power. Remember those promos, those
Oh
trailers?
man.
The hierarchy of power
The
is
DC
now coming.
universe is about
Is
to
gonna,
change.
yeah. And I'm like, bro, okay, cool. He's gonna fight Shazam. No, I'm fighting Superman. Like, you don't understand the character, and I feel like that's what he's doing with WWE. He doesn't understand, having a cohesive story, and he doesn't think things make sense. And oh, I'm The Rock is gonna make sense. No,
Yeah.
Dwayne. No, Dwayne. The stupid bullshit. Get out of here. We don't want it. Stay
And
out of our business.
You bald fraud.
Listen up, Dwayne, you bald fraud!
and remember though too, remember when there's reports coming out, oh, Rock isn't gonna be at WrestleMania, and then he was like, don't believe everything you read. They were true. Like, how are you gonna deny something that was so true?
He was
Like,
talking
really?
about the tweet. He was talking about his statement in it. Don't believe everything you read, including this very comment that you're from
Yeah.
Like,
from me.
I'm like, bro,
and,
come on.
like this man, he has it in the palm of his hands. And I think that's the most annoying part. He had us going all
Yeah.
Mania, like, oh, is Rock coming out? Is Rock coming out?
Yep.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat it with you. I was hoping The Rock would show up. I was actually excited to see this guy. After all the hate, all the comments I make about this guy, I was like, oh,
Years.
cool. Years. I was ready to see him. I was like, okay, this is gonna make sense. It's gonna be the best WrestleMania ever, right? It's gonna pop off, way better than 40.
Boy, were
No,
you wrong.
Travis Scott showed up. You know how mad I was to see Travis Scott?
You wanna know what's funny about that? I was like, look, Travis Scott's about to pop up and his music hit like that. I was like, bro, I called this. I let me cook.
Hey
Ro-
man. Well, you did. If this is you cooking, I don't want you cooking ever again. Because just to sort of describe it for anyone who may be watching this and may not even watch, just to lay it all out there, set the picture. Um, Cody is like gaining momentum, and then all of a sudden we hear
Fiend, fiend,
"Dong,
fiend,
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 fiend.
fiend," and Travis Scott comes out with a hardcore championship that doesn't mean anything, and proceeds to slowly walk out to the ramp, like so slow, like he thinks he's Randy Orton,
Stupid
Prime
belts, by
Evil.
the way. About Rock and Travis Scott with their stupid belts they have. Okay, back
Yeah,
to your point. Back to your point.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. And proceeds to, do the classic Attitude Era type interference, right? Where like 1, 2 pulls the ref, he comes
Yeah.
in, and one of the many sort of threads that I think they were trying to capitalize on was Travis Scott apparently shoot slapped Cody and like bursted his eardrum and did all this stuff. He's like all bloodied up. And, I guess one thing they were trying to capitalize on was like that talk of like, when is Travis Scott going to get that receipt? Or when is Cody Rhodes going to get that receipt off of
And he got that
Travis?
receipt.
And he got the receipt, but it was like a baby touch, like a Crossroads. I love the way it looks. I love Cody, but the Crossroads, it doesn't look as menacing as, say a spear or, a lot of other finishers, RKO. So if that is the receipt, that was like nothing. That was like a little, I wanted a CVS pharmacy receipt. I wanted him to go crazy on him. But, instead of a little gas station. Oh, I think my mic changed. That's how mad I am, y'all. That's how mad.
Dang, it changed midway.
Hold up. But yeah, no, I didn't like the finish at all. I'm gonna be real with it. What'd y'all think of the finish?
I mean, it was like you said, it was just like, really? Like all this hype that Cody was gonna get him back. It wasn't an if or when it was gonna happen. And just like that, I was like, I was expecting something better. Heck, there's even a commercial where he super kicks somebody, and I was like, bro, at least super kick the guy. You never use it, but like do something. I thought it was gonna be more. I thought he was gonna do it at least three times. Two, I would have been fine with, but just as one and is trying to push him out the ring because he was slow to get out, and I'm like, What is this? What is this?"
The minute that I don't have much to say because there's not much to go off of. Like I couldn't really form an opinion. Like I said, I was paying attention, but there was things that never really drew me into the match, especially that finish. And with Cody, it's like I said, when I'm at a loss for words for a match, it's hard for me to form an opinion on it because I just don't understand or grasp the ending. Like, yeah, I think it's great for Cena winning that 17th title. It's a very important opportunity for him, and it's a you can go where what you got.
I wanted to, kind of piggyback off of you because I thought we were still on Travis. But talking about the final, it's kind of hard because obviously we knew Cena was gonna win. There was like, no doubt it was gonna happen at WrestleMania. But it's kind of hard when the fans are expecting that too. So your face now moves over to cheering for the heel or going for Cena, which I think kind of draws out this match and why it feels it's kind of dull is because everybody was on Cena. Even when we saw on the SmackDown, they were booing Cody. And then he gets him back and now they're on his side. This wasn't the case here. Every time Cody hit Cena, they were booing him. It
That
was
that
hard to,
that Vegas crowd was weird though too. I wanna
yeah,
put that out there. It was a very weird crowd.
yeah. Well, I mean, Sin City,
Yeah, I mean they do like their bad guys out there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like
yeah.
it was kind of hard because it's like we all know we're going for Cena, but you still have your face of the company in which they're booing, and it's just like, really?
Well,
I get,
I wanna I don't know. Like I said, it's a hard subject for me to talk about, and I want y'all to like I want to hear your opinions first. So I'm gonna keep listening for this one.
with regards to Cody and like the fans and like that whole aspect of it all. Um,
Just like the finale.
Yeah.
yeah, well, one thing that actually I'm surprised we haven't talked about, I talked about the finish, but we didn't talk about the actual finish, which was ref bump, classic, classic move. Cena grabs the belt. It somehow gets to Cody. They have a little tug of war. Cody gets it, and he starts hinting like, "Oh, I'm gonna use it on Cena," and he just doesn't go through with it. And that's when Cena does his kick to the balls, grabs the belt, and gets the finish. One title bump apparently is enough to get Cody. If you go back to last Mania. This man takes like seven spears, 14 Superman punches, so he gets fingered by a solo as well as a spear
Whoa,
combo.
whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
whoa, whoa.
He
Fingered by
takes he
Solo is crazy.
Hey.
he gets by Solo and speared by Roman at the same time and still kicks out, you know. And then we're led to believe that what, like three AAs and a title bump is supposed to beat
And a
Cody. Like,
super AA, right? A super
oh yeah,
AA,
off the
if
top
I
rope. Yeah,
remember correctly.
that was pretty
Yep.
cool. But yeah, no, I didn't buy the finish. I think that's the thing is like people can say all they want about, oh, he's ruining wrestling. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. But to me, it was just the suspension of disbelief for me just wasn't there for me to believe that wow, Cena really, this is what Cena sold his soul for, was uh you know to get one title bump off of Cody, and that's what gets him the win. So yeah.
I'm gonna raise my hand here on this one right here. Do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys kind of feel like that they had to pivot this match? They had to pivot this main event because they knew the outcome of The Rock not being there in time. Because that's something that y'all talking about it and us talking about The Rock. It hasn't really clicked until right now. Maybe they did have to pivot this match. That's why it was so odd in a way.
I don't. I'm one of those that I think it fits his character more, Cena, because like he said, he's gonna ruin wrestling. He's not gonna give the fans what they want in terms of, new merch. Like we saw his entrance. It was just a black screen with John Cena. It was boring. So like it fits his character, but if that was the case, I could see that as another issue where, hey, Rock isn't gonna make it, just Travis go in there, do something. Because I don't know if I saw correctly if it was made up, but he was backstage. The Rock was backstage. Now I don't know if
Oh,
it was
I
because I
huh.
saw something that he said it, but I don't know how legit it was. I probably have to find it or send it later, but
It's
there
making me
was
see there. Oh,
I'm
so if
getting
oh.
he
worked up, boys. I'm getting worked up. I don't feel good right
I need
now.
so
I don't.
I need my pretzels. I need my pretzels.
So
Mm,
if on the
mm.
off chance he really was back there, if that was the real case scenario, that was probably the worst decision of sending Travis. Now, if he wasn't there, then all right, the pivot was probably the more option. But while y'all are talking, let me see if I could try to find it. Let me see.
That would be interesting because I do remember I did end up watching that 40-minute interview just because I do enjoy The Rock entering his Hulk Hogan phase of just like just blatant lies about his career. And yeah, he was talking about how after Elimination Chamber, he texted Cody and texted Cena like, "Oh, I think that's when he mentioned like the final boss's work is done. Y'all got this. Cool." So if I'm supposed to believe The Rock, which again is something that at this point I don't want to do, but it
He's a
seems like
bald fraud, everyone.
a bald fraud. I believe the bald fraud? I don't know, but if I'm believing what he says, he said that they've been knowing that he wasn't going to show up at all, like, in the match, which, and it's funny because even The Rock himself in that interview says, I would have finessed it better, like totally throwing Triple H under the bus. He is like, oh, I would have gotten to that point better. I would have finessed it like, he didn't say specifically what he would have done differently, but I was like, damn, really? You're really just like, this is work for me, brother, type thing, I hate it. But I did want to, speaking of things you would have done differently and rewriting the ending, I did want to sort of get into a segment that will take a good amount of time, but I think is going to be a fun little thought exercise for the KNC faction. Is I wanted to give us a chance to step into Triple H's shoes, and just sort of basically say what how we would have rewritten this whole Mania 41 finish. And I have some rules that I told the crew here is that the build's got to stay the same, meaning all the promos we've done, all the things we've set up, that's all got to stay the same. Cena has to win, number 17. And Travis Scott has to be involved somehow, and also we're keeping no final boss. Final boss can't be involved because apparently the final boss is he shouldn't. The final boss has no effect, I guess, or doesn't make sense to be in this, according to the final boss himself. So
Okay.
yeah, who would like to start off in terms of
All
saying
right.
how would they have changed Mania 41?
Ephraim, do you want to start or Cesco? Because I'm one of those. I was just like Ephraim. I'm one of those. I'm probably gonna wing it because I was thinking also how to build this up. So I want to see
Yeah.
if
I
he
mean, I can try going first, and y'all can just add with me because
okay.
it's a really hard concept of not adding the final boss because I think that's what everyone wanted.
Yeah.
So I think not having him there kind of makes it impossible, but I want to try it, which is a
Super
good
quick.
challenge for us.
Super quick. If the final boss were to show up, I would love a either Montreal screw job situation, ring the bell, or like after
That's
Cody and
exactly my
Cena.
idea.
Oh
exactly
shit, for
my
real?
that was my
Okay.
that was exactly my
Explain it.
thinking.
Set the scene
It
for
was
it. Set the scene
exactly the way
for
I
it.
was looking
Let
at
the
it.
scene.
So we have what? Let's if I remember correctly, what I was thinking when you guys were talking about it. That's why most of this time I was zoomed out. I was like, oh, trying to think in my head. Um, but the match is gonna run the same. I think these two guys. I do want Cena and Cody going back and forth retreating. Okay, we're gonna go skip ahead to like the last 5 minutes of the match. Right, we're going down to the nitty gritty of the title. Of Travis Scott's music hits. Right, whatever. Travis comes out, does his thing. He pulls a ref out. We're gonna keep all that the same. Travis goes in the ring, tries to confront Cody. I guess Cody misses, not misses, but the ref's telling Travis, you need to get out because he gets back in. He's like, get out, get out, get out. Cody misses his punch, actually hits the ref, knocks the ref out. And I think on the show he bumps him, right? They bump into him, if I remember correctly. I haven't rewatched the match since it. That's how much I've been out of tune with this match. I don't have a lot of words on it.
I think it's just Cena runs into him because Cody's in the corner and then he moves and then Cena hits him.
Yeah, okay. So we'll have Cody hit the ref, kind of with like a big slap, knocking him out, throwing him back outside to the ring. And Travis comes back in. All right, Travis tries to go for like a low blow. Cody catches it. He goes for like another crossroads, and this is where it kind of changes. I kind of want Cena to interfere and like stop Cody from hitting it. It's an attitude adjustment, and when you think that Travis and Cena have the end of this say so match, you kind of have like, because this is hard. I haven't really thought about this all day, so it's me going into this thinking about it off the top of my head. Besides the Montreal Screwjob. We call it, both of them hit the finishers. Cena hits the AA. Travis does like some crazy ass move. Because this is where we're going off a match, right? Match alone.
Yeah, yeah.
And call it, The Rock brings out his own ref. And he's like, no. And it's always that most famous ref that screws everybody over. What's his name? I think it's
Earl Hebner?
Ric Flair Jr. Oh, yeah, there you go. Earl Hebner. He's like, no. You hear Rock's music hit. He brings out the ref. And kind of counts it. He goes 1, 2, 3. Cena wins the belt. And I think that's honestly it. It's not like the screw job. I want it to be a little different in my head. But it's with that twisted ref that, that everyone was talking about during that time. Something along those lines. Again, sorry, it's all last minute. I wasn't really thinking about it until, today and yesterday, and it kind of lost my train of thought. But It was along those lines.
I like that. I like it because it, again, in talking about ruining wrestling, is that you always feel like the referee is going to be a third party to this. But yeah, bringing in a ref that maybe like has a different design outfit, like it's still the black and white stripes or whatever the ref. I think it's now just like a slate gray shirt, right? The referee outfit. But like maybe you have like
It's
a
just
little.
like a
What's that?
yeah, it's just like all like black, I think.
Yeah, like you have
I
that
like
same
having
shirt, but like a corporate Brahma Bull little patch on the shoulder, and you're like, oh, okay, all
I like
right,
having dirty employees on Rock's payroll.
yeah,
Like, how like Fisk has his cops that he has? Something like that.
I dig that. Yeah,
Okay.
okay, I
Okay.
love that. That would be amazing because to me, I think what the real finish lacked was any sort of showmanship, and that
Yeah.
is, I think, brings like a certain, you know. Like swerve to it that gives it that dramatic like yeah night 2 main event. This is the season finale of WrestleMania. And I forget if you did mention like the Rock's influence on the match. Did you have the Rock actually coming out and being like, because Loki, I'm down to just kind of
No,
scrap that rule of no final boss because it really doesn't make sense for the final boss to just not show up. But okay, it sounds like you did keep him off, so that
kind
I
of
like
have
that.
him
Okay.
like kind of have him like the what is it? What do they call that? Like the main head guy. Like of
Yeah,
course final boss, of course.
the
But like the
puppet
Yeah.
main dude
master.
that's like puppet master, like no, I have my own ref, I have my own wrestlers, I have my own celebrities. Like people want
Okay.
Bad Bunny versus Travis Scott. Like, yeah, okay. Like I want him to have his own corporation, which we all expected him to have after Mania. But it went to Paul instead. Like I think I kept telling y'all, Seth's gonna turn on Cody. Seth's gonna turn on
Mhm.
Cody. That's my prediction. It never happened.
Yeah.
Like I want Rock to have his own army of wrestlers that will side with him. People that believe in the final boss. Like like he was saying in McAfee's show, like, hey, I want I want to give him luxury. I don't want, you don't have to do what I say. No. You get what you get. But all I want is for you to know that you're aligned with me, that you acknowledged me,
Yeah.
which
Mm.
kind of always can go back to Roman's character, kind of finally them having their match at 42, which would be super great for them to have finally. But it's
Probably not gonna
kind of
happen.
him. Yeah, like it's kind of like him being the headmaster, kind of be like, no, here's this, just go do this for me. Have
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
on his payroll
I
is the
like
best
it.
way to say it.
Okay. That is a good one. I think for me, I would kind of piggyback off the same idea, except kind of like how it was. I think it was Clash at the Castle when it was the main event of Drew and Priest. The ref gets knocked out. There's nobody there, and then yeah, CM Punk with the ref comes in like that. Like have a new member in this story now to be like, all right, it not only was it Cena, but it was somebody else that joined me to screw over Cody. Whoever that will be, could be whoever. I know I even talked about it in the chat, are Seth and Paul, and it seems like now Braun Breaker. Are they a part of this alliance with The Rock? Is it something totally different? We don't know yet. I feel like if they were with The Rock, it would make sense, considering, a lot of people are calling them Evolution 2.0, right? So I think it would have been like crazy if to see Seth, the guy who was his Shield last year,
Yep.
now screw him over in that main event, which would have been great.
Ooh.
Uh, but I
Oh.
think
It would
that
have it would have connected both main events too.
right,
It would
right,
have made it to be like this is one show.
right,
This would have
Yeah.
connected because now what's going on is now that Raw and SmackDown have two completely different shows. Which yes,
right.
I get it, it's great, but now you have two different opposing stories, and at some point you're all gonna want to see it. It's WWE fashion. They're gonna want to merge those stories into one. And
Mm.
And
WrestleMania 41 is the best way to do that because the way these stories connected.
and
That's
one thing I want to add though too, before I finish too, is
yeah, go ahead.
I was surprised there wasn't really anything with Cody and Randy because we know, we all saw what happened Monday, whatever the case may be, but maybe show a segment before he's going out into the ring. Hey, whatever happens, I'll be there for you, whatever the case may be. Because heck, maybe if they were gonna have him turn heel, which I doubt, but maybe be in that corner, take out Travis Scott even to show like, hey, I got you. Because then it would have been more interesting because Randy RKO'd Cena and be like, all right, now this is personal. You kind of took out the guy that I called my brother, that I took under my wing to help build, and you just did this. Now it's revenge time. So I think that would have.
Which is something I like. Yeah, I agree with that too because I felt like that was something that was missing.
Mm.
Like maybe Randy will get into it after, like, of course, Raw after Mania, but these next coming weeks leading up to the Backlash, like it's something that's
Mm.
probably going to happen. Where he's going to mention Cody, and he's like, "No, you stuck in family business. You're stuck in some legacy business, which you shouldn't do."
Yep.
And the only man that's ever taken John Cena is the Viper. You know, one
Yeah.
RKO and it's all over for the world champion or whatever Cena's calling him.
Yep.
I think Cena him at Mania would have set up that match perfectly more. But I think, with Mania 41, that main event, we're looking at it like it's the season one finale of a show.
Mm.
Like it's nothing crazy, it's nothing big. It's just cool. This
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Yeah. You know, first of all, yeah, I definitely agree with everything you guys said. I think the whole Raw after Mania, inserting Randy into it, I have my thoughts on it, overwhelmingly positive, but we can get into that after that. But Ephraim, you were mentioning connecting night one, night two. I think it was Ray as well. You guys were both cooking in that sense, and I think my rewrite is going to accomplish that a little bit. So, starting off, I think have Travis Scott walk out with Cena. I think I don't need the 5 minute saunter down the ramp from Travis and playing Fiend. We've heard Fiend like 50 times throughout that broadcast. Like we don't need to hear Fiend
We could
again.
have
Yeah.
got a Fiend and John Cena matchup. That would have been dope to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
That
do
would have been a good
remember
one.
there were rumors of a Travis Scott produced John Cena heel theme song, which, you know, I would have been down for. I like Travis Scott, and his music is very atmospheric, and so I would have been down for that. But anyways, so eventually, match goes as the same, except maybe Travis Scott kind of they have some bickering between Cody, and that's sort of what allows Cena to get those big momentum shifts. Um, but eventually it culminates in Cody getting a clean and harsh receipt. I don't know what it has to be, but I think one thing that people may have been booing Cody for was he was playing it safe, playing it very babyface, obviously with the whole title belt
Yeah.
thing. So I think maybe having Cody hit him with a chair would have given him a big pop and, gotten the crowd back on his side a little bit. But anyways, I think similar situation with the title. They have a tug of war. Cody gets it, and he's thinking about hitting Cena, but instead of like having him play like the most like, no, I could never, kind of thing, and then he gets taken off guard by Cena. I think you just have him put it down, be like defiantly, like strongly, like I don't need the cheap tricks to win. Y'all are on some
Yeah.
bullshit. And I think you have, for me in this rewrite again, let me land the plane, y'all. Have Cody win clean. You have him win. You show off Cody is a better wrestler right now in this day of age. You have Cody win. But then like for some, maybe the logo, the trademarks come up, and then all of a sudden Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins come down the ramp, and you go, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and Seth, you did mention having a favor, me owing you a favor, and consider this me cashing in on that. And again, 41, you come back 10 years ago, it's WrestleMania 31, Seth Rollins cashing in it, the heist of the century and all that stuff. You have Paul Heyman somehow, some way, you can explain this however you can, um, have the pull to have us restart the match, except now a triple threat match, no DQ, Cody, Cena, Seth Rollins, and you can kind of go anywhere from there. I think, you can have Seth win and just be like, again, really kind of connecting the two nights of like, now Seth is really like the top of the business. He did mention like, whoever wins this triple threat from night one main event is going to be the future of the business. And you can, kind of cash in on that right away, literally. You can have Cena win somehow, some way. Maybe Cody and Seth, similar to like Rhea and Bianca, they kind of get into
Yep.
it and they get the best of each other and Cena just kind of capitalizes off of a moment. And yeah, for me personally, I think, you and I think for me, in talking about developing the teams, I think you start to see the foundations of it. I think how we're talking about the Civil War, right? For me, I see it being Cena and The Rock with the corporate team. You have Cody's kind of like for the people, freedom, rah
Yep.
rah type vibe, babyface, and then Seth. I feel like Seth and Paul could be this like third vigilante, anti-hero, gray area type vibe where you kind of don't know where
So
he's gonna
now
at any moment.
we're
Sorry.
going more into My Hero Academia. I don't know if
Ooh,
you've ever seen My Hero.
I haven't watched it. No, like what's the?
So like with that comparison you were just saying, like Seth Rollins could be like Hero Killer Stain, which for a lot of people that watch My Hero, Hero Killer Stain is much of like a he respects heroes, but wants them to do it for themselves. So like Seth Rollins can have this ideology saying like, "Hey, I'm going to take out wrestlers that only think about themselves, like Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Like that's
Mm,
who I'm after." But like heroes like Cody Rhodes, he won't attack because Cody does it for the people.
Yeah.
Like how All Might does it for the people of the city he lives in for Japan. So Stain doesn't.
mm.
Well, no, I'm kind of wrong on that one. Stain, I think, hates All Might. It's been a while since I've listened to the ideology of Stain, Hero Stain. But his whole thing is that, Deku, I'm sorry. He respects Deku because Deku fights not for himself, he fights for everybody. And that's what
Yeah.
Stain does. And I think that's what Seth Rollins is kind of doing. Like, Cody doesn't just fight for me, he fights for everybody. And I think that's like a good comparison to that.
Ooh, I like the idea going off of that. I like the idea of Seth, maybe like throughout, he's kind of going back and forth, and then between the two factions of the corporate versus the rah-rah babyface, and you have Seth be like, oh, like maybe his whole motivation is doing what's best for business, and putting himself, he feels like him being on top is what's best for business, and maybe he's like, you know what, actually. The people are the business. And Cody, I'm gonna side with you for at WrestleMania 42. Maybe that could be like the big resolution moment. I like that. I like the My Hero Academia kind
I'm
of
a
like added thing.
I wanted to come back to your ending with Paul Heyman. I think it would have been super crazy if you're talking about him saying like, "Hey Seth, this favor, I'm gonna cash it in, whatever." Triple H comes out, he's like, "Hey, what the heck are you doing?" Whatever, and then Paul's like orders from the final boss or whatever. Set that like kind of tone that it seems like now the final boss has the grasp of WWE. Now kind of not kicking Triple H, but like saying like, "Hey, you can't control this anymore. This is orders from the final boss. This is how he wants the things ran." So then that way it kind of leads to an alliance where people now got to go for Cody because now it's like you said, it's kind of like the people versus, the power, right? Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that whole little comparison. I think that would have been cool. I was
And,
thinking,
Ooh.
another thing too that my original idea, because look, Cesco gave us a lot of limitations on stuff, which is nothing bad. He wanted to test our creative thinking on this. He wanted to test our Triple H skills. But my original ending for the Mania really lines up with Cesco's original. But instead, I wanted Seth to come out and curb stomp. I think I wanted Cody to have a couple. I wanted Cody to lead the rest of the match by himself. And I
yeah,
think Cody could have won with like what, 3 crossroads, maybe 4. And I think when towards the end of that match, when Cody's going for the pin, I wanted to see Paul Heyman standing in the corner. Or you know how like they zoom out to the announce
yep,
table and they see Paul Heyman like when Jimmy came back and they zoom into Jimmy coming out in the ring. I want to see
Mm.
Paul just standing there with his evil smile. I was like, Paul Heyman, what? You see Seth Rollins just curb stomp Cody, and like what the hell? And you see Cena go for the pin, and Rollins just staring at Cody and being like, you teamed with Roman. Like, how could you do that? Like, we
yeah,
fought them last year. A couple months later, you join them, team up with them to take down, Solo and all of them. No matter how bad it was. And Paul Heyman has his beef with Cody too. Like, you beat my tribal chief. You broke him into this man that he is now. Like, you caused this rift between us. Not
Ooh, wow.
not Punk. That was my original thinking of this entire thing. And then he's like, you know what? Yeah, that's right. Seth is our Messiah. He's our visionary. He's the guy who's going to lead us to the future. But he's also going to be the guy that when Rock needs it the most, he can deliver.
yep.
And your favorite for me, now that I helped you win the main event, Seth, your favorite to me is to join The Rock and the corporation or the final boss's clique. And now we're going to run rampant over this business. Because that was my original idea of how this was going to turn out. That's what I was thinking
Mm.
the whole time watching it. And like you said, Doctor Strange, I thought Ghostfire was going to appear. I thought this was going to happen. I thought this was going to happen.
Nope.
When we become a critic and we become that person, you're like, damn, it ruined it for us. And I think that's what it did. And don't get me wrong, I think that's a great storyline to go with if they ever do it. And like I said, it would have connected both nights. Like you turned my tribal chief into this former version of himself that he didn't want to look at. You brought you caused so much trauma. Now we're gonna take Cody Rhodes out and gonna make him lose his belt. And it's gonna be Seth, John Cena's world now. Like it's gonna be them two. The torch is gonna pass to Seth Rollins, nobody else. Cody, you're not that guy.
Mm.
I remember too, if we think about it, Cody returned against who?
Seth,
Who'd he
And
beat three
who
times
kept losing?
in a row?
Seth,
Seth.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it causes Seth more like, and where did Cody come from originally? That he called CM Punk a what? He
AEW.
called him an outsider. He came
Oh,
from AEW.
Oh, right. Right. Same similar promo he cut. Is like you're trying to tear down
Tear this
the
company
thing.
down.
Yeah, man. Oh, okay. Damn, see, I'm getting excited, and then I kind of my excitement has to kind of like skyrocket up into nowhere because this is literally just us fantasy booking. But what I love about this is that it sets the dynamics for I think what we're talking about is could be the next big storyline is we discussed it in depth last week is like this giant civil war vibe. And yeah, I think having Seth in particular operate in this like gray area where yeah, like maybe until WrestleMania 42, he works for The Rock. He is like the corporate champion and does all this stuff. Him and Cena are sort of and Braun, oh my God, are these like this three-man power trip
Those
of
three, the three head of
oh
the head of the snake or dragon, how they say it.
yeah, yeah. Maybe you throw in a Mello or a Austin Theory there as sort of the young guy that comes in and is maybe like the comic relief in all this seriousness and like big storyline, right? And yeah,
I
maybe
mean, I
you
don't
have
hate this whole evolution thing. I don't hate the evolution 2.0.
yeah, let's transition into that because night one main event, I think there's been a lot said about it, so I don't think we need to go over it in too
Yeah.
much depth in terms of like Paul Heyman turns on both CM Punk and Roman, goes with the visionary, the architect, Seth Rollins, and yeah, and that fast forward to Raw after Mania, and
Which was top tier, by the way. Like,
oh,
cinema.
just
Cinema.
a chef smooch
I'm just
of
saying.
Raw after
I'm just
Mania.
saying. When Julia, Roxanne, Stephanie Vaquer, Io, Rhea, all in that fainted. Fainted.
It was a
Uh,
good. It was good. It was great.
I was in heaven for a second there, guys. Whew. Um, but
Wait. What does
yeah.
Booker T say? Sucky ducky quack quack.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. Nugget, nugget,
ah,
quack, quack,
ah,
yeah.
ah, ah.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Raw After Mania was amazing, but the way it ends to me was the standout bit. That's
Amazing.
what a
Yep.
beautiful moment to end on is you have
That was a
first of,
WrestleMania
first
ending.
of all, I thought so Roman comes in, I think Superman punches Paul Heyman, which was crazy, right? Is
Yep.
that how that went? And
Yep.
then he goes in, he's ready to spear him and murder him. And I thought, because you always see is like a black hood, just missiling into Roman. I thought Paul Heyman was in there, hitting the ropes, getting in there, hitting Roman with a spear. But then
It's
obviously
like when
the
did
hood
he
comes.
train?
Yeah, I did have this image of like two belt Paul, coming up, but. Yeah, Breaker is officially part of this new faction. We mentioned it already, Evolution 2.0, which was Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair, and Randy Orton. It looks like we could be getting kind of like the similar vibe of like you have the established top star, you have the manager role, the wise man, and you have this guy who like it's just fun knowing that Braun Breaker, like he's gonna be in good hands. He's gonna be the guy moving forward. He's gonna be the main event of WrestleManias, and arguably you could say the big thing with him, even though he cut a crazy good Steiner math promo on the kickoff.
Yep.
You can say promo work isn't his best stuff, so having Paul Heyman there as his wise man could or his manager would be really cool and to sort of teach him the ropes. But yeah, what'd you guys think of this whole segment? And of course, I think the main topic of discussion that we were going back and forth about in the chat, who is the third man? If you're not counting Paul, if we're talking about wrestlers, who is the third man of this podcast? That's Ray. That's Ray Carter. Who is the third man of this faction? Um, yeah, any one of y'all can go.
Uh, I mean, I feel like that was a WrestleMania type ending right there. Because I'll be honest, when they were already doing the credits to wrap up, I was like, dude, like no way they're just gonna like, all right, that's it. Like that's enough time. I'm like, you're on Netflix for crying out loud. You can have as much time as you want. Luckily, it didn't end. But I think it was good. It's really good on Braun because after he lost, it was one of those, where do you go with him? He's already beaten Jay for the belt. He just lost it. He already had high hopes for him. He's on Raw. What do you do? And so joining Paul with Seth being there, has added muscle to it. It's gonna be one of those like henchman type things that we said, like, hey, that dirty work that needs to be done, he's gonna do it. The third guy who we even talked about, Carmelo, is somebody I think would be a perfect fit. It's just right now he's with the Miz, and it's just a big question of if they're gonna cross over to SmackDown. Is it mainly streaking to Raw? Because if it's on Raw, I think a lot of them, especially with the fans, Austin Theory, it makes sense. We've been wanting this guy to turn face. It's probably not gonna happen now. But I think it's time to break up A-Town Down Under. It really has been inconsistent. Nothing has been going on with them. They'll just
You mean
be here to get hit.
Slammy award-winning tag team of the year, apparently?
Well, there you go. My bad. But yeah, it's just if we're sticking to Raw, it makes sense. Or even I even brought up the idea of bringing Karrion Kross. We've seen his rants lately. We've seen him. He wants to do what's best for the wrestlers. Even talking about it when he was up against AJ Styles, like, hey, just hit him. You don't let this part-timer YouTuber kind of take your job in that sense. And that's what happened. So if he goes with somebody with Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker, that's kind of like a little spicy thing that I wouldn't mind seeing. And we've seen Karrion. He's talking in the ears, hey, you really want to have him around? He's like dead weight. Even when they showed him with the New Day smiling at them, he told them, hey, you need to get rid of Big E. What has he done? He hasn't been doing nothing for you guys. It's all been y'all. So I think Karrion would be a great addition if we're sticking to Raw only.
Mm. Even anything to add about that, or what would you think about the whole Braun Breaker faction, Third Man, all that stuff?
I mean, it's great. I think it's great TV. It's a great storyline for that main event. We always wonder, we really wanted to know what happened next after Saturday. It was crazy to think about, like, oh shit, what's next? Like, what's gonna happen? And I think they delivered on that after Mania on Monday Night Raw. And I think with Paul, Punk, Seth, and Roman can draw. They can, get a crowd going. And seeing Roman, Superman punch the shit out of Paul Heyman, which was a great sell, by the way, by Paul. Paul sold that. He jumped in the air and everything and did like a whole flip, it looked like it. All he did was just fall on the side, which I thought was great. And then Braun coming out, it threw me off. I was like, holy shit, they got Braun Breaker. Holy fuck. They're kind of fucked now. And I think when
Yeah.
he speared Punk, I was like, oh, fuck. This is game over, man. But I think I'm excited to see where this group goes. Now, Ray was saying that it's the end. I'm not saying these are my picks, by the way. This might be the end of A-Town Down Under, but imagine having both Grayson Waller and Austin Theory in that group.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Nah, bro,
it's not
tonight.
it's not to say that Austin Theory can't turn face, but maybe that screen time with that faction would allow us to kind of sow the seeds a
To
little
get
bit
more.
of like, yeah, of him being like, damn, y'all are ruthless. Y'all are kind of ruthless. I just kind of
Yeah.
want to, you
Do
know,
you know how he was? You don't watch NXT, right? During like 2020,
I wasn't there
during
yet,
that
no.
time?
No.
Okay, so he was in a group with Johnny Gargano, LeRae, and Andy Hartwell. It was called The Way. And he was in this group, and he was kind of like the comedic relief. I think he told Scarlett, he's like, whoa, those are big, while she was wearing like a
I've seen
bra.
that. Yeah.
And she's like, no. He's like, no, her nails. And they're like, what? No. I think that'll be great for him. But, seeing him more as that serious type, Randy Orton type character, like, I'm
It would be
doing
cool.
this or Braun
Yeah.
Breaker, he has a look. I've always thought he was the next Randy Orton. Like, I think he has the look. He has the athleticism. He has the charisma. Just give him the tools with it. Give him the right people to surround him with, and he's gonna shoot off the sky. Like when he fought Cena, I really think Cena buried him. I think he held his own. I just think people overshot it and overreacted. Like, oh, there goes Cena doing his Hogan impersonation again. Like, no. I think Theory held his own. I just think, the crowd wasn't there. And sometimes when the crowd's not there, it can kill a superstar's push, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also want to see Becky in that group. We've never seen a Paul Heyman girl. We've never seen that. when she turned on Lyra, we all knew it was coming at some point.
Yeah.
I think when she returned, I didn't think she attacked Becky as soon as she returned. I was excited to see Becky. I mean, we haven't seen her since she lost to Liv, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
That was the last time we saw Becky, so it was nice seeing her again. Even though my whole family like booed her out of the building, I'm the only Becky fan in that household, which is so crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. They
I,
just don't understand.
I will say one thing though, in terms of that, is I don't know if we're ever gonna talk about it throughout the show. I mean, because we go on a lot, right? But I do feel bad for Bailey. Like everything aside with all that, I do feel bad for Bailey right now
You know,
because
when I
like how everything,
go ahead,
like
go
how
ahead.
everything transpired with having her return, I think that's something you should have built up instead of having Bailey have, I think it was a week or two, having her be with her there Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, you're like, hey, so you're not gonna be at WrestleMania night two. It's like kind of like a slap in the face. Like, really? Like you just brought me here at the 1 yard line and you're like, fumble it, you're not gonna do anything.
I'm not a Bailey hater, but I don't see the hype around Bailey. So
Get him out. Get him out.
I can see why people are like I people I think people get mad because it's not their favorite wrestler. And that's the way I look at it. Like if it was Rhea Ripley, no one would say crap about it. Now I know
Yeah.
there's Rhea Ripley haters, but it's true. Like let's pretend it was Jessica, who's your favorite woman wrestler of all time?
Oh, Charlotte Flair. No.
Oh my god.
Io Sky. My goodness. Io Sky.
So if you put that same position too, if Io was gone for about a month or two, like for a long time like Becky was, I'm not saying she was gone for a month or two, but as long as Becky was gone for, she came back after, and Bailey was the one getting taken out. You're like, oh my god, Io's back. That was so badass. Wouldn't you think the same way?
Mm.
Nah.
Yeah, I get the point you're making. Yeah, I get the point you're making.
But I
Like,
think
go on,
uh,
Rick, go.
one thing just for me though is just I think you could have built the suspense a little bit more because I think after Hall of Fame you're like, oh, okay, Becky's back now. I think that's what kind of ruined it is seeing her at the Hall of Fame. You're like, okay, now she's gonna be coming back because I
Yeah.
think they already announced, hey, Lyra, you need 24 hours. Oh no, that was WrestleMania night one. Never mind. But like once you saw her that she was there, oh yeah, she's coming back. So I think for me, it was just build the suspension up a little bit more, maybe a week or two. Hey, have Bailey get hurt, figure out like a whole Jade Cargill scene again, instead of like the day before you're supposed to fight. Hey, you're taken out. Like for me, it's just
I
build up the suspension.
Or
I
for me,
don't. No, go.
oh no, I
Go,
was just gonna
Jesse.
say for me, the whole thing could have been scrapped. This whole tag team
Yeah,
injury, Bailey injury thing could have been scrapped because there's a way to do this where you have
there is.
Lyra need a mystery partner. Like, oh, maybe Raquel tries to go for the IC title, and then they start beefing, and Lyra builds up the nerve. You know what? I'm going for your titles, and oh, yeah, who are you getting? And then we get the Becky thing, and then for me, where I get heartbroken is because I'm not Ephraim. I totally get what you mean in terms of like I don't really Bailey. She's very likable as a person, but her as a wrestler, um, she's kind of a product of whatever storyline she's in. The EO damage control thing, that was incredible. But since then, like the Nia Jax thing, I love Nia Jax, but
Tiffy.
that's Tiffy, like it hasn't really hit her as a baby face. But I think, yeah, like let's say you have hit Lyra tap Bailey on the shoulder. Hey, can you help me out? For me, the storyline that I wanted to come back to Bailey with is Roxanne Perez coming in. You have the
Mhm.
teacher versus
Yep.
the student versus the mentor, the protege versus
Yep.
the Padawan versus the master type vibe, and maybe you have her take her out of that tag team angle, and they do their own thing, whether it be on Mania, the Mania after Raw, or the Mania after Raw, the Raw after Mania, and have them do their thing. Because as it stands, yeah, Bailey just got totally shafted. And it looks really
I
bad on
also think
Becky. What's up?
I also think too they should do a lot of makeshift matches on the Mania show itself. Like I know they gave us Ray versus the Great Americano, which was actually a banger of a match. Um, but
Sir.
Also, I'm gonna let you cook on that. Why are we having Gray in a 16 match before his WrestleMania?
That's crazy.
it was a weird thing.
That was such like really? And then instances like that. They're lucky Ray Phoenix was available though. But all
They
right.
probably would have
Crazy
gave.
though.
They probably would have gave. They would have given Great Americano like Dragon Lee or something like that. I'm pretty sure, or Andrade.
Yeah,
Mm.
like that was such a horrible thing on Triple H to do. Like the day before your WrestleMania fight, you put him in a 16 tag match. Like really? But anyway, Ephraim, back to you. I'll let you cook whatever you're cooking.
He's all mad about it. He's like, God damn it. No, what I was saying is I wish they would have gave like some makeshift matches on the night of Mania. Like, yeah, Roxanne attacked Bailey. Like they don't need to build for 4 weeks. They really have been building this match since she debuted on Raw. Like
Yeah.
have Roxanne attack Bailey and be like, you know what? You want to do this? Let's do this match right now in Mania. It would have
Or
great
Rumble.
created a
Royal
great
Rumble fed
atmosphere.
into it
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Like create this great match on the fly and see how the crowd just reacts to it. Like that crowd was hot after what? What match was it? After that tag team match. It was
What,
what
New
was
Day
The
it?
versus
for the
War
women,
Raiders?
Was it New Day War Raiders
I
or
feel
was
like it
it?
was LA Knight versus Fatu, like
Because
middle
no,
of
no, no,
that
no.
fight.
Because the tag match was the second from the main event.
Oh,
You're talking about
no,
night
I
two?
didn't.
Night two, yeah. Because that tag
Yeah,
match was
yeah,
on night
yeah.
two.
Yeah. Judgment Day versus Lyra and Becky Hogan. Is that the match?
Oh, that.
Well, anyways, you can put that match on against like you said, New Day and War Raiders. That match fell flat.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. It didn't. It was boring.
Yep.
Tag team match should have been there. The wrong tag team title defended, like I said.
I have a
But
thought about
you
that.
could
I
have
have a
had
theory
like
about that, but continue. I'll
okay,
come back to
okay.
it.
We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
yeah.
that. We'll get to it.
Remind me because my
But I
ADHD
do.
brain will forget. So just remind me.
I know mine too. We're like, oh fuck, I forgot to get it.
Yeah.
But no. We should have had Roxanne versus Bailey, and I think having it, on that Saturday on, a very very not stacked card would have been a great draw for money, and then eventually have Becky, on Sunday return because Lyra's looking for a partner, and then have them lose to Liv and Raquel at Mania by something Lyra did, like kick Becky by accident or whatever, or have Paul Heyman once again come out and look at her and be like, do what The Rock did and do the little,
Yep.
the little 3, 2, 1 thing, whatever,
Mm-mm.
and turn on Lyra at WrestleMania and join her husband, and there you go. Like that's something that would have been like, holy crap, it connects. Like Triple H is always
Yeah.
saying it connects. A story should connect. Right now, you're not connecting shit. No dots are connecting, man. Like it's all different, scattered. And at SummerSlam, it might. Who knows?
Which, by the way, Ray, you didn't love the way they handled that whole thing where you have the Judgment Day lose the belt at Mania, and then the day after, they get the belt back. You
I
didn't love
didn't.
that, I remember. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was. Look, of course, you want something big happening on the Raw after Mania. That's what it's known for, right? But I mean, come on. This felt like another Jey Uso situation. Gets the IC title, has it for like a week, and then you're like, all right, Braun Breaker gets it again. Like we
Mm.
didn't even get to see the hype with it. And I know at that time, I think it was with the whole Bloodline feud again. They interfered with. Oh no, I don't know if they interfered with it,
No,
but
they did. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. See, so I was like, all right, I guess, but like they could have been good as a tag team. Of course, I think they should have had that match set up differently where Lyra accidentally hits Becky. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, oh snap, my bad. And then we saw how the ending. I think that would have been perfect. But to have them
I
win
mean,
at WrestleMania and then lose it the next day, it's like, really? Like,
Yeah,
a good way to put it is have Becky. Sorry.
no.
Have Becky, bump into like you said, like at WrestleMania, have them be like, "Oh crap, I bumped into you,"
Yeah.
and then have them lose the match on Mania, and then on Raw itself, like, "Oh, you didn't beat us fairly. Like we got into each other's way. Let's give us one more crack at the belts," and then the same thing happens again, and that's when Becky snaps. Like that's something I don't know if that's what Cesco is going at too on that one, but I
No,
think
you
that's
I
something
think
smart.
what I was just gonna add to it was the defense for it that I've seen is like, oh, you don't have the someone lose on their return, but I'm like, you can. It doesn't like show me the rule where that is like has to be a thing. Like, yes, it's
Becky
something
doesn't
that
need to take the
it's a
pin.
it's a trope we've established is like, oh, wow, the big return, we got to have them win. Sure, but why not do it? Why that would have set up the heel turn even more. Is like, see, I didn't even get to win on my first day back and because of you, Lyra. That could have definitely been another
Yeah,
just sort of another straw to add to the camel's back. So
because how many
yeah,
times do we see tag matches that happen like that, Jess? Like where they take the pin and they're like, "Well, I didn't get pinned. She did. That's her fault, not mine."
yeah,
Like that's an easy way to cop that out. Like, oh, she returned. She ate the pin. You didn't beat me.
yeah, yeah, and
I'm
the
just
heel turn
seeing
as a
that Josh
whole.
Alexander's on AEW.
Oh, that's
Oh,
it.
throwing shots to
Some breaking
AEW. I
news.
got those. I got those.
You know what I was thinking about with Bailey? I don't know if this would. Oh, wait. It's okay. So the thread we're gonna come back to is the New Day versus Raiders. We're gonna put a pin on that for a second. Uh, One thing with Bailey that I wanted to mention. I really think of her. There was that quote by Triple H. She was asked in the press conference, like, "How's Bailey? What is she doing?" And he's like, "Oh, she's a good soldier, or no, she's a true pro. Like, she'll be fine." And I think of the promo that Karrion Kross just cut with
Yep.
Not Sam Wrestling was, what good being a good soldier does for you, getting buried, getting cut off the
Yep.
show, and she did that interview with Chris Van Vliet, which I watched, and she looked very like pissed off and frazzled, but hiding it pretty well. But she seemed very frazzled, and they asked her like, "You have a year on your contract. How are you feeling about it?" And she's like, "This was before Mania happened, so we didn't know what was gonna
What
happen,
was
what the
gonna
angle
happen?
was.
Yeah.
Becky was, all this stuff." And she was like, "Honestly, like I'm just looking to finish my year out, and then who knows after that." So, I do feel bad on the just like for Bailey as like a just as a human of like getting totally shafted like that. And yeah, I just think as we've presented, we have booked the show. Uh,
A little
I
bit
think,
better than Papa H.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
also too with Karrion, he has a year on his contract left too.
could be interesting.
So I think he feels that frustration as well. I mean, look, give Karrion. I would love to see Karrion with that big world title around his waist. Like this is even before the promo. I think Karrion's a compelling character. I've been watching him since he debuted in NXT when he was killing everybody, and I was like, they signed Killer Kross. I was like, who the fuck is that? And then I watched some of his stuff on YouTube. I was like, holy crap, this guy can wrestle. He's a scary dude. So when he debuted and killed Finn Balor, Keith Lee, like all these wrestlers, Tommaso Ciampa, like it was crazy seeing it. And like his presentation on NXT was crazy. So, loving the Karrion Kross, love that he's getting now after Mania, after that promo he cut. Like,
I
man
think,
deserved it. Man
yeah,
deserves all the love and gratitude because he's also a nice human being as well.
he really is.
Yeah.
I think he's even posted some clips of like, I think he has a documentary that's coming out, and he's kind of like showed some clips from it. I'm like, oh shoot, he's a really interesting guy. But like, I think right now too, the fans are starting to see that about Karrion. Like, he could get a push. So I think right now it's determining how to push him because I think he's in big time. I think this is like another LA Knight, Jey Uso kind of push. Like the fans want to see this. Even with the Andre the
Mhm.
Giant, I'll be honest, I really thought he was gonna win that. With everything, I was like, oh snap, maybe they're gonna push him out. At least top two has to be. Nope. Eliminated very early. And I was like,
Now,
really?
now, like I want to tell everybody at home that watches our podcast. We know that every wrestler's gonna get pushed. We want to put
Right.
that out there. We know that
Yeah.
all our favorites are going to get pushed. I'm a big Tegan Knox fan. The guys know that. I
Mm.
like Tegan Knox. I think she's
Mm.
super cool, talented. But
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ray used to give me a lot of crap about it. Be like, dude, she ain't it. She don't got it. She don't got it.
Mm.
And that's how some of us feel. But like, I think Tegan Knox could have been a star. She was not a big star, but she was very popular in NXT during her time.
Yep.
She could have been a great baby face. What Raw kind of needs at the moment too, because they have a lot of anti-heroes and a lot of the alternative, which is not a bad thing. I'm a big Rhea Ripley fan. I love the alternative heroes, Tatum Paxley and all them. But you need that.
The
We get
balance.
it. Not all of the balance between it. That's the word I'm looking for. It's stuck in there. But we get it. Not all our favorites are going to get pushed, and it's understandable. But Karrion, if anybody deserves it, it's Karrion Kross. If Karrion ever watches this part, we know that we appreciate you, and whatever you do in the future, that we're gonna want big things from Karrion Kross, and we
Yes,
hope
sir.
that you tear the world down and come back. And when you do, show everybody that you are a star. And
Also,
just
And
tag
hope
him.
that you
Let's
can
tag
come
him when
on
we post it.
and
Oh yeah.
have you come on the podcast because we would love to.
also his blood sport. I saw some of his clips from when he was doing it over
Oh
the
yeah.
weekend, dude. Bad
Man,
man, dude.
this dude breaks like 3 baseball bats just in a
Yeah.
regular sleeper
Yeah.
hold. I
Hey
was like, if
man.
I'm Scarlet, I'm lucky getting that man. That
Hey,
man can kick anybody's ass.
Hey man.
I'm
Respect Killer
protected. I'm
Cross.
protected.
Oh,
make the
Absolutely.
hashtag.
And
respect
change
Killer
his name
Cross.
from Karrion to Killer. How badass
Yes.
would that be?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Dude, honestly, going off of our fictional Civil War storyline, he would be such an amazing aspect to that. Because who knows? Because he seems like he wants what's best for wrestling, but not the business. He wants what's best for the purity of the sport. And so I feel like he could toe a gray line of like, yeah, like okay, The Rock is going for business. Meanwhile, and you'd think Killer Cross being a heel, would back that, but no, he wants the purity of the sport. He wants, the real and to see Killer Cross potentially turn face would be sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
You know,
let the people
you know,
cheer for Killer Cross, man.
I want to say this real quick. I really want to see a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scenario for Karrion Kross. And just what you said, let me land the plane. That's what you
Mm.
said earlier, right? He can switch from character to character, which I think he's been doing very well. Not a lot of people are seeing it. When he's talking and persuading somebody in, he's kind of like playing Mr. Jekyll, correct? Dr. Jekyll?
Yeah.
Am I
Mm.
correct? It's been a while since I read the story, so I'm always rusty on some of my references on here or my comparisons. But I want him to be that appealing doctor, like, no, let's do this. Let's do this. Like, this is what you need to get you to the next point. And then when he's finally like snapped and had enough of it, he turns into Mr. Hyde. Or
Mm.
I'm if I'm butchering this, I'm so sorry. It's been such a while since I've read the book, so you should start cooking me in the comments. I'm sorry, but I want him to bring out the killer side, the Killer Cross
Yep.
persona, and have him go batshit
Mm.
crazy and being like, this is what his old NXT days were. If you ever go watch his old NXT days, he was a menace. Like he ran through everybody. Like he was scary. Like that's what I want. Like him snapping to do 2 different personas, which would be great because it's very authentic. It's very original to him. Something I think he can work pretty well with.
I love that. I
Yeah,
think in general, WWE needs more outlandish, like I'm using this word, but not what people may think of this word, silly shit. In terms stuff like that, like I'm thinking of like Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Dude Love. He comes in the Royal
yeah,
Rumble 3 different times, and or um, even as another thing you mentioned before was like having segments during the Mania event where, I remember back in the day, one of the Manias I watched, like you'd see The Rock like backstage and he would kind of cut a promo real quick in the middle of the Mania broadcast. And, nowadays we don't really get too much of that. It's just like ad spots, and matches. And that's kind of it from Mania. There's no like little extra threads here and there. Having Killer Cross be like this like kind of multiple personality disorder. I'm thinking of the movie Split, M. Night
yeah. Another good
Shyamalan.
one.
Having
Yeah.
him do that would be really sick. Hey,
Like,
Papa H, give it, cut the check. Cut the
Let us
check, man.
cook. Let us
give
cook.
us give us like a
Ephraim's
2 week or a
cooking.
month contract. Let us give us wrestlers that you don't want to work on. Give it to us. We'll figure something out for you, Papa H.
Hey,
Like,
Hey,
hey, shut up and enjoy the ride
they're
that
hurting.
KNC takes you. Enjoy the ride that
I
Kayfabe
know.
and Chill takes you.
And if Triple H, you have an issue with any of our comments, please, you're more than welcome to come to the podcast. The only man that we don't accept is The Rock. That's it. I won't be on that episode.
Hey, they're looking for writers all the time. So I mean,
But no, like even like I want to get back to that Karrion and Kross point too. I'm gonna try to end it on this one, but like you can even have them cut different camera angles. You know how like Bray with Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas,
yep,
where he was talking to Uncle Howdy and he's like, "Oh, like a therapist," but you can have one side of the camera flip like a crooked, broken camera, and it could be Mr. Hyde, the crazy Killer Kross persona,
yeah,
talking to like, "No, how come they don't listen? Like, how come they don't understand what I'm trying to get at? Wrestling's sacred." Da 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 da. And then you can
Hmm.
switch to Karrion Kross being like, no, like we have to stay into our guidelines, and that camera can be perfectly clear, and you can see the vision, you can hear what he's saying, and then Killer Kross is more like muffled and more quiet, and like look what they did to me, look what they did to us before, and it can, the idea for Karrion Kross is unlimited because this man can work with so much, but you give him that character, and I think people will get behind it, or maybe I'm just a psycho and I don't know what I'm talking about.
now
In
you
that
are psycho,
case,
bro. Yeah.
but in that case, I'm a psycho too, man, because that shit was you were absolutely cooking hibachi style, flipping the shrimp
Just
into the WWE universe's mouth.
Just tag Karrion in the podcast when we post it. That's something that I'm going to tell you tomorrow. Like, please watch. Please watch Karrion Kross.
Hey,
With
we
love,
just need a
Carrion.
clip. We need a clip everything from the start to the end, and just we gotta do it. We
I got to
gotta.
order a Karrion Kross shirt too now. That feels so like it's a different vibe too. After what he's been saying about to AJ, it's like, damn, AJ, you're stupid for not listening to him. No.
So there you have it, KNC. We're officially buying all the stock on Karrion Kross, on Killer Kross. Speaking
And
of,
Scarlett, we love Scarlett.
what was that?
And Scarlett, we love Scarlett too.
Oh yeah, Scarlett. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Um, Speaking of people who of heels that people have bought all the stock on and now it's paying out, baby. It's paying out. Let's talk about real quick the fatal four-way Braun versus Penta versus Finn versus Dirty, Dirty Dom, Dirty, Dirty Dom, Dirty,
Good
Dirty
guy, bro.
Dom.
Mr. Mysterio himself, the greatest Mysterio of all time. Ray
I
didn't see
called
the
Hey,
it.
vision. Ray didn't see the vision at
I saw
first.
the vision.
No, 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 no.
I
You're
saw the vision.
the avid Rey Mysterio fan.
Oh, this one right here.
Now he won the IC title. Ray did call it first. Ray did
I
call
did
it.
call it. I did call it.
Ray
But
did
now
call it.
everyone sees what they booed him for so many years. Now look at him.
Hey,
Stirring up the drama.
if we're talking about what is the WrestleMania moment for WrestleMania 41,
It was that one.
it was that
That's
one.
it.
John Cena, number 17. I feel like the finish kind of stepped on it a little bit or kind of undercut it. Night one main event
Man,
was
fuck John
cool,
Cena.
but oh, okay, we're
It's
there
all
with
about Dom Mysterio.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Dominic
Okay.
Mysterio.
Yeah.
I thought the finish was fantastic. First of all, the match itself as a whole. Oh shit, almost knocked over my water. Match as a whole, fantastic. Braun spearing someone through the table. Yeah, Carlito. Oh, it was Carlito. Carlito came out and get, got destroyed. Oh, I just love
R.I.P.
Carlito. I love Carlito, man. That was one of my friend who I was talking to you guys about. He was like for some reason really on to Carlito. Like, yeah, man, look, Carlito's back. And then he got straight to the table and he's like, oh, gotcha. I feel like I'm all caught up with his character. And
Look, Carlito back in like 2005, 6, 7 was like the hottest thing around.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was a crazy field. That man was in like a WWE chamber match with John Cena. The final three with him and Chris Masters, the masterpiece. And
Wow.
unfortunately, Cena won and Edge cashed in, but he was pretty hot at the time too. Like he
Was
was a
this around the
very
time where he was messing with Flair? Was that around that time?
yeah around that time, yeah, because I think Flair was in that chamber too. I think it was Kane, Carlito, Masters, Angle, Cena, and I think I'm missing somebody from that chamber, but
It was me. It was me, bro. I was there.
right,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't remember you being
Even though I think what you're
like
4 years old,
5 year
I know
old,
that for a
five,
minute.
4 year. I don't remember seeing a little baby crawl around the elimination
I was
chamber and
there.
hitting
I
people with
was there. Just
electricity
edit
cord.
me in there. I was there.
Oh, was your
Source, trust me.
your name was Baby Face? Was
There
Baby
you
Face,
go.
right? Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
where the term came from, bro. Come on, man.
Baby Romeo, because I can't use Little Romeo because we might get sued by Little Bow Wow.
Yeah, 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 Baby
That is
Romeo. Um, damn, yeah. Wait, sorry, coming back to this Fatal Four Way. Um, yeah, Dirty Dom. How y'all feel about the IC title match or the and him getting it? Are we thriving? Are we good?
I screamed off like my entire house. Look, this is what happened. It was my sister's friend, my little sister, my dad, his girlfriend, my baby brother, my brother, not my older brother, but brother
so the
underneath me,
family tree.
and then his fiance, and then me, because I was making food in the kitchen, and we're watching that match very closely. As soon as we saw Dom hit that frog splash, and we're like, holy shit! And he won, like, kid you not. I came out right in that kitchen because I saw it and went, like fist up in the air. Like I just I just got laid for the first time. I went, yes! That's how that felt for me, seeing Dom win that championship. It was super great. I
I
loved every second of it.
Dude, I got so excited too. Like my mom and my little brother, they're like, I think Braun's gonna win. I think Penta's gonna win. I was like, nah, nah, nah. I got Dom. And sure enough, I was on my couch. I jumped off, almost hit our ceiling fan. I was just running around like that whole area. I was like, let's go. I called it. I got Dom.
And I
Bro,
think the
top
way
tier moment.
the way they built to it was fantastic. You had, of course, Dominic hitting Finn in the back with a missile drop kick, and you think that's going to be curtains, but Finn catches him, and they have that moment where he's like, really, okay, no, okay, no, I got something for your ass. And then Dominic, I think he's going for the finish on Braun, was it, or Penta? On I think
Maybe it was
Penta.
Penta.
Yeah,
I
because
think
then
Penta,
Finn
yeah.
interferes, comes in, ropes him, and then it really plays off. Like me and my friend, we were getting hype, and all of a sudden we're like, oh no, is this how it's gonna end? Finn goes on for the coup de grace and goes up on the rope, and then gets it, goes for the pin, and that's when Dom, I think, goes for the frog splash, right? I think that's how that plays
Yeah.
out.
Yeah,
Built
because I think
perfectly.
Pin. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it was Pin. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Pin, Frog Splash.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
pinned Finn. Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Because
okay. I just want to remember too.
that's gonna, yeah, that was gonna come up big and later on, because now I'm curious like where you go with that, but anyways, real quick before I get to that, the one I wanted to say was we were talking about just bad finishes. That was a fantastic finish, and now I'm curious where they go going forward, because Dominic, the people are cheering for Dominic right now. He's got the title, and people are
And
like,
JD
oh,
just came back
does
too.
JD came back, and people have been saying for the longest time, oh, I'm ready for the Finn face turn. Oh, I'm ready for the Finn face turn. Do
Ain't
we
getting
turn
that.
Dominic? Do we turn Dominic face?
Yep. That is the trigger right there. Do it.
Hmm.
Look, I originally thought with this idea because I thought it was just a Vegas crowd because they're in Vegas on Raw after Mania, so we'll see how the crowd reacts to him after Mania,
Hmm.
after that Vegas crowd. And I think once there, they're going to determine what's going to go. So I have two different scenarios in my head. If Dom is, they go back to the old ways where they keep booing Dom. I feel like they still do the face turn, but a crazy scenario. I mean, the face turn for Finn, but a crazy scenario on that one is imagine the person that takes the title off of Dom would be Rhea. I know they have their own IC title for the women's, but imagine Rhea is the one to take off the title from Dom and be like, yeah, I'm the one that beat you. You betrayed me. I take the most precious thing from you, which is that IC title. And yeah, Rhea can defend it against the dude because the whole NXT or WWE 2K25 is all about now the intergender matches. They're all fighting each other. You can actually like RKO Nia Jax and like Becky and do stuff like that. So I think that's something they can play into and have Rhea win that belt and have Rhea hold it for like a month or two and then have her drop it because what else do you guys see from Rhea going forward? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because she's not beating Io. I'm sorry. It's
You
Io's.
can send her to SmackDown.
Yeah, I think that's your best option. Do something against Tiffy because now Tiffy, I really doubt they're gonna run it back, Tiffy and Charlotte. And if
Hmm.
they do, after that, it's just where do you go? And I know we always talk about, the draft. I don't know when it is specifically. I don't even know if we're gonna do it because last year, I'll be honest, was like a total waste of a draft. It was just like, all right, everybody on their teams, good. It's gonna stay like that. We're gonna draft one or two NXT people, and that was it. It's like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's also like the hardest part about having interlocking stories, like we were saying earlier, is that both separate brands need their own separate show and storyline. And
Yep.
maybe that's what Triple H is doing. Maybe he's doing his own separate stories for each show. Which, if that's it, that's what it is. Great, awesome. I'm all for it. But going back to Dom, I don't see Dom dropping it anytime soon.
No.
I feel like Dom will have a good face run with that IC title all the way through. Maybe it's a SummerSlam until you get like a heel Finn Balor or shit. Give the push to JD. I know. We all want Finn to win that IC title. But who knows? Maybe Finn can create his own new version of the Judgment Day, a better version, a cleaner version of all his people that he wants, his NXT UK guys. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Okay. I did have a thought about like I think I was just high and out of my mind and watching some old WWE clips, and it was Bullet Club. What if they do a little Bullet Club thing? AJ Styles, Finn Balor, you get I mean Cody is there. He is in the bull. Yeah, so there is some potential there, but before I lose it, because I felt I lost it for a couple minutes there, and I do want to not I want to say it and make sure I say it, real quick on the New Day War Raiders thing. Uh,
So
yeah, I think that that whole match was all because of the sponsorship, was the Clash of Clans sponsorship. That's
Yeah.
the only reason that the Street Profits didn't
Yeah.
get that Mania match. As you think about War Raiders, they had their whole the whole get up, and Michael Cole got and Pat McAfee just went on and on about like, oh, this is my Pekka. Oh, da 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 da. I'm like, we really devoting the
A
majority of
match.
someone's Mania entrance to some banter about some Clash of Clans game, which the bag must have been dropped like heavily for this. But, yeah,
what?
but
Sorry, I saw a TikTok. Someone said it perfectly, and they said it like perfectly to a T. This is the first WrestleMania in the mainstream. Does that make sense? It was the
I get
first
what you
Mania
mean.
that had the biggest mainstream. Like people like,
Yeah.
and that
It
was
was
like,
like,
huh. Wrestling's such a niche thing. Like you have to be a diehard fan to like it.
yeah.
If you don't like it, you don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like my friend
Yeah.
Kim, shout out to Kim because she wanted to get shouted on this podcast at some point. But
3 episodes in. That's all it
no,
took.
no, she was like, "You got to talk to me," but she doesn't understand wrestling. She doesn't get it. Even my friend Justine, she doesn't get it either. That's not a shout out. She's like, kick my ass if I say her name on here. But she never understood it. She always like, "Oh, I just don't get it. Are they hitting each other or not?" Like, it's such a niche thing to say. So when people, it's in like in the broader daylight, and people are like actually watching it and talking about it. You want Triple H season? He's like, I want eyes on it. I want everybody's eyes on it. I want sponsorships. I want that. But it was such a big thing for people to be like, whoa, like this is their big mainstream mania. And I think that's why a lot of matches, like you said, with the Clash of Clans deal, it was weird seeing that some guys that actually put on a show are not on the show.
Yep. That was just like, really, this is what we're doing now? Like,
That was my bathroom break match, by the way, too. Just put that
I
out
don't
there.
blame you because I don't know if it was just me. I don't know if we're gonna review the rest or what, but the first two matches for night one, they were like that in terms of finishing. We have like Jay and Gunther. I was not expecting him to tap out like that.
None of us did.
And then this
Yeah.
one, right, too, if you blinked, hey, New Day won, by the way. Like What?
Desperately,
Like,
so desperately needed Big E in some capacity. Like they kept
and we got
showing them on
nothing.
the ramp, and I'm like, what you got? What
Dude,
you got for us? And
yes,
then just never, yeah.
nothing. I felt like that match could have been on the Raw after Mania. I would have been fine with it.
That could have been on the Raw after Mania, not this triple threat TLC match on SmackDown after
Yeah.
Mania. It should have
That
been roles reversed right there.
Yep.
by the way, they have done a fantastic job of building just sort of the dynamics between DIY, Pretty Deadly, and MCMG. Like they had it. They had it like served on a silver platter, and they're probably gonna do it on
Like,
SmackDown after Mania.
what was the one at 40? It was Newcastle Republic with the unification of the tag team titles. They ununified them.
Oh yeah, it
It was
was
Yeah. It was was it DIY,
Judgment Day,
Judgment Day, Awesome Truth, and
Newcastle Republic or something like that with Pete
New
Dunne.
Catch. Yeah, I think it was the four.
Like, and Eight Time Down Under.
There you
yes,
go.
that was
Yep.
it. That was it. Yeah.
And that's where I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's a ladder match. Now let's take it back and do some TLC like for the next year. Like those matches draw people into Mania. Like I love like I was about to say this earlier when we were talking about the Fatal Four Way and stuff like that. I love multi-man matches, triple
Mhm.
threat, ladder matches, Money in the Banks, Elimination Chambers, Royal Rumbles. Like that stuff's appealing. Like no offense to Jay and Gunther, like they did their best, but those two don't have chemistry with each other.
They really didn't.
They don't.
Yeah.
And watching them two go at it for an hour or I mean a good 15, 20 minutes, it's kind of like cool. You saw Jay win the belt, which I think everyone wanted. Cool, but leading up to it, you're like, what the hell? Like
And
throw Seth Rollins in there or do something. A
I
guy that can
think
pick up the speed.
and I think too with that match, it's because we all knew Jay was gonna win. I think that was just everybody knew, and so it was waiting for that moment for him to win. But I think it was also to show that Jay has a lot more moves than what he says because he even talked about it recently. Like, hey, I know what they say about me. I know they only say I got like the same three, four moves, and he did moves that he typically doesn't do. Will he use them? Probably not. But I think it was a showcase. Like, hey, he's an all-around kind of guy. He could use other moves also, and like even tapping out the ring general, which like I said, I don't think none of us predicted. It helps Gunther's case, but it kind of hurts his case too.
I didn't
Um,
see no new moves by Jay, by the way. I don't know if y'all saw something different. I didn't see no new
I
moves.
saw some stuff different. I don't know.
He did a
But then again,
Rana, he did a suplex, he did
yeah, like he
obviously
was doing a
the
lot new things that
choke.
I haven't seen. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know
I guess
because
it's
I
like
barely came in Bloodline story like when Sammy turned on Roman. That's where I came in. So if he did it beforehand, hey, but like from now, I that's new to
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I think for me it was a decent start to it. Like they actually were going at it, and then it turned into what I think everyone thought it was going to turn into, which is just like super kick, super kick, and then, but I think where they made up for it, I ended up having being more on the warmer side of things because I think they started off Mania pretty well in terms of like towards the end of the match, it just became like a fight. Like it just became a clubbing fest where, yeah, they did the boo, yay, boo thing, but them boys were actually like hitting each other, and I was like, yeah, okay, and it was it kept them. It kind of built a sort of a good starting point for the momentum to start, and then they went with New Day versus War Raiders to start to follow that, and I'm like, we're not serious. We're not serious with this booking. So yeah,
I
no, I
I
thought it
also
was a
think
cool
too.
match.
I also think too we should add stipulations to matches like that because those two guys made it so personal between each other. Like I was saying, we should have like a first blood match. Like you made my brother bleed, you made Jimmy
Yeah.
bleed. Now I'm gonna make you bleed. Let's put this into a first blood match. Like
Yeah.
matches like that should come back for personal reasons. Or like what was another match that I was thinking about the other day? And who was it? There
Me and
was
you at WrestleMania, bro.
now
Steel
I'm putting you in
cage.
there. We're going to steel cage,
Steel
and it's
cage,
gonna be
baby.
all wrapped up in barbed wire.
What are we?
Like
AEW, bro? What are we?
extreme. No, we're gonna do what was that match they had? The exploding barbed wire match or
Huh.
whatever. That misfired like 4 times. They're like, watch out, and nothing blew up over them.
Good
I
times.
watched that live, man. I watched that live. That was horrible.
Oh shit.
But
But no, I think they should add stipulations to certain matches that need it. Like, I love CM Punk's rivalry with Drew McIntyre because Punk knew what needed to be in those matches. Like the strap match, the Hell in a Cell, and then the SummerSlam match. Like it was just like
Yeah, the
great
guest
matches for
referee.
great stipulations. Guest
All of
referee, like
them.
he
Yeah.
know like you needed that. Like Punk and Drew, like this match needs another layer to it. It made sense. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
yeah,
again, Jay coming back to last Mania, people say that Jay versus Jimmy should have had some sort of stipulation. No DQ, submission match could have been cool because it sets up.
Rikishi come out
Oh yeah, it's a
like
special guest
A
ref or something like
Rikishi,
that.
a Rikishi on a pole match.
yeah. Hey,
Oh,
hey, yo, hold up. Oh,
gonna need a
whoa.
gonna need a strong ass pole. My goodness.
Bro
Um,
And
said fingered solo. Now we got stripper Rikishi. What's going on here?
hey man,
look,
this
his character was a stripper back in the day. And Cesco, by the way, 67 Rockets, 51 Warriors.
no, I saw
Dang.
Jimmy Butler got hurt, and I'm like, I'm focused on the pod today. I'm focused on I'm podding. That's all it is. But no, hey man, I'll take 1-1. I'll take 1-1 with home
He's
court
coping right
advantage.
now. He's using this to cope if they lose.
Hey, how the
Look, I just
Spurs
want the
doing?
Lakers to get knocked out.
How them Spurs
Hey,
doing in the playoffs, huh? Huh?
hey, we're
Oh wait,
expected
hold
to
up.
get Cooper Flag here, buddy. All right. We're gonna get Flag. We're gonna run the league. Where's Klay Thompson? I'm
Oh,
glad
he's
he
in
had a good game
Dallas. He's
compared
in
to everyone else.
Dallas. He's having fun in Dallas. Yeah, man. Yeah, do what you do. Shoot them 40s.
I'm also a Spurs fan, but I'm just letting the banter go because I got no hate between this. My team's time will come eventually. We'll wait for this.
Hey man, hey Ray, you know what? I'm keeping all this in mind when that steel cage match happens and I'm the special guest referee and the chair slides onto the
Keep
ring.
write
I'm
it
like,
down. Flip it.
who am I sliding the chair to? I'm just interesting. Just keeping that as a mental note. Um, real quick, I want to talk about the Randy Orton match and then we'll go on to sort of the aftermath of last week's predictions. Um, yeah, the setup for it was interesting. The mystery challenge, mystery challenger match, and that's always fun. The speculation always runs wild. And were
Ready to
you?
shock right now. Sorry.
I, hey,
Right, I
I
thought you did a
believe,
whole
baby.
Shaq moment right now.
What
What's
happened?
up?
Did you hear me? I thought you did a whole Shaq moment going shit on national TV.
Oh man, yeah, just that run is crazy. Yeah, you're like, yeah, you see it. I know that run. I know that run.
Now,
Um,
luckily enough, I had the shirt right there. Dude, I'll be honest with you, despite like almost coming close to interviewing him personally, dude, I was so freaking excited for him. And I was like, you're seeing him in TNA and like I mean, me and Ephraim, we've seen him. We remember the hype, when we went to TNA. It was crazy. And so to see somebody from TNA at the world's grandest stage at WrestleMania representing a champion who went viral all over like wrestling, even in the mainstream. It was freaking awesome to see, man.
I
yeah,
mean, also too,
going against one of my goats, Randy Orton. Incredible.
like
Yeah.
that's the next thing I was gonna say. Randy Orton's such a pro too. He understands a lot of things about wrestling. That Joe came out and he was just like, "Yeah, I can work." He's like, I think he picked Joe, right? Wasn't it
Yeah,
something
there
I
was
heard?
something that came out that said that there was ideas pitched to him. I don't know how accurate this is either. Jeff Hardy was another name that was pitched
Yeah, I
at
heard that
Randy,
too.
but that
Because
he personally picked Joe Hendry to do it.
you're thinking about it and you're like, it has to be a guest who gets a pop, like from the music, like from the jump, even from the music. Because if it's a mystery, a challenger, and you get like, I remember
Somebody mid.
we mentioned like Nick Aldis, which would have been pretty fun moment as well, but you can't tell me you can't tell it's Nick Aldis from his music. Like he would have to pop out
You
and
need
you'd be
to
like,
build that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need the
yeah, yeah,
crowd to know
yeah.
who Nick Aldis is.
But then
But
and also you have to have someone who can take an L. because I don't think you
And
want
I heard him.
Randy
Yeah.
to lose at this Mania, just where this how the story kind of devolved, and also the fact he lost last
Yep.
Mania. So you kind of want to start building him. Um, so yeah, I think Joe Hendry, if we're just kind of going into it real quick, perfect opponent to pick. You can I think Ephraim, you alluded to this. Definitely did not get buried. In fact, got elevated.
Hmm.
Like you don't have to take
Yeah.
an L to get a win, or you don't have to get the pin to get the win. I don't know if
Yeah.
hey,
It
trademark that real quick. Put that on the shirt.
my a friend of mine, he's just like, nah, I didn't really like the match. And I was like, what? Like in terms of wrestling wise, like it was a really solid match. Like
It's
we-
what it needed to be, is the best way to
yeah.
put it.
Yeah, like it was a nice WrestleMania moment because if Vince
Yeah.
was there, it would have been Rusev or Rusev probably. Rusev would have lost, then it kills his momentum.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie with you. It probably would have been like shit. Not even Rusev. It probably would have been like Heath Slater or something,
Yeah,
and
like it
Randy
would
would have
just would
squashed him like a second.
Yeah,
yeah.
no pop.
Going back to Roman.
No pop. There was a moment
No,
that happened at WrestleMania, and I was like, there was like no pop whatsoever. And I was just like, dang, crazy.
I mean, going to what Ray was saying too, though, when he was saying like, he's talking to his buddy. Like, I had the total exact opposite. There's this girl that I know, and she was texting me the whole night of WrestleMania night too, and she kept saying like, that's a great moment right there.
Yep.
And she said, and she joined wrestling right like maybe like same time around you guys did. And she would ask me things here and there about it. And she was like, okay, that makes sense. And I'll explain certain wrestlers to her. And I made sure to explain Joe Hendry all that time ago when we went to TNA because she's like, who's Joe Hendry? And I
Mm,
was like, this is who he is. This is what it
Yeah.
is. So her seeing that moment and realizing I know who that is made her go, oh my God, I know that. I know who that is. And then she didn't understand like little small things because I'm pretty sure back in that first time she started, she would understand or back when she first started, she would understand a match like that, like how
Yeah.
quickly it was. Well, he came in. Why did he lose? Like she probably would have understood that a year ago, but now she's like, oh, that made sense because of this. Hold up. Let me get back to my point.
Oh, he got the headphones. It's getting serious now.
Okay, yeah, I had to search my AirPod. But no, like she went into like a whole thing saying like this made sense because it's exactly what it needed to be. It wasn't too long. It wasn't too short. The right person won, but I'm not mad because Mr. Hendry got what he needed.
Yep.
yes.
And
And
I was
then
like, I'm impressed the way she explained it to me because I was like, yeah, exactly what I was thinking.
hey man. And then I'll put it like this, piggybacking off of that. My friend who I've talked about it very well, shout out to DJ since we're name dropping and shouting people out. Shout out DJ. Um, he popped on, you heard the theme music and he was like, yo, what is this guy? He looks like a Ken doll. He this is hilarious. He
Yeah.
really like he's got a
Same
belt
comparison, by the
on.
way. They told me too. Is that Ken? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's just
Ryan
Ken.
Gosling, guys.
His job is wrestling. And he comes in and you
That'd
hear
be a
the
cool
theme.
Barbie.
A cool as Barbie. And he comes in and I do the two claps because obviously and he's like I can see in his I'm just like off my peripherals. I'm like, oh okay, he's known. Like, okay. Like Cesco seems to be rocking with him. And then the part comes on his theme song where, wave your hands and he sees the crowd. He sees the crowd and he's like, oh, I'm watching him like compute all of this in real time of like, oh, the crowd is rocking with him. Okay, cool. And I can start to see him settle into like, all right, this is a moment that I'm witnessing right here. And off of that, I'm like, it worked. And this whole thing worked. It helped Joe Hendry, elevated him. People like, DJ who maybe don't know about the other companies or just don't tune into the weekly shows and they're just here for the manias. They're like, this is their opportunity to get put on to what is
Yeah.
going on underneath. And again, I feel like you're only just helping the business. You're helping TNA and building that emotional connection to Joe Hendry,
Yeah.
but also, in my opinion, I think this really allow me to, I'll just speak for myself, to really like want to root for Randy Orton because I think Triple H spoke about it was coming off the angst and sort of like anger that storyline between him and KO had. you kind of want to, you don't want to just try to shoehorn something that feels like that. And so they went the complete opposite direction of like, let's just let it Randy Orton have fun with it. And sure enough, he did. Again, you guys mentioned he turned around, did the signature pose with the
The
Joe
little
Hendry
pose there,
zoom in.
And I
Like
will say
yeah,
too, like
which is
funny
great.
enough,
yeah,
he went down to NXT and he's probably gonna be in a feud with Trick Williams and Obafemi. So it looks like he's gonna be getting that, call up soon, kind of like Jordan Grace. She was in NXT for a while, did her appearances, and then once her contract expired, went to NXT. So we expect a lot of
Honestly,
things.
honestly, all I'm thinking about too is how much he got paid for that check.
Dude,
WrestleMania check. I don't know if y'all listen to the Maven TikTok on his account. If y'all
mm,
follow Maven, he's an old school
yeah.
WWE wrestler.
Love Maven.
yeah.
Yeah.
Badass in show, even though he hates it. But he talks about like WrestleMania payday and how much they get paid for stuff like that. But especially like, can you imagine the pay that Joe Hendry got? And I know he is not doing it for the payment wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's doing it for his career.
For
Yeah.
his career. But if you look at it, like that man has been traveling from TNA in Vegas. I mean, yeah, he was in the city, of course. But to be on a flight to go do that, and like, oh, you're gonna wrestle Randy Orton. You're like, what? What do you mean you're wrestling Randy Orton? Like, what?
Yeah.
You're gonna be his surprise entrance. Now, I don't know if they told him, day of, 2 nights on Friday, but
I'm
man, that
assuming it
man,
had to be 2 nights just to get prepped because I think they were there like Thursday and Friday, probably like the same time they were here in San Antonio, like
yeah, yeah,
leading
yeah.
up to that weekend. And he was doing the little Comic Cons there too, or WrestleCon as they said. So I'm pretty sure it had to be like maybe that week, be like, hey, you're gonna get RKO'd not once, but twice by Randy Orton.
Which I mean, again, it's great to see Joe Hendry and TNA get that love because
Right.
Vince would have never done that. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and that to me, this whole match to me, this whole moment to me is what's beautiful about the wrestling business is that someone who got over because of the music, because of his music, because of his likability and his natural charisma can go from, you know, where he was maybe 2 years ago to suddenly he's wrestling at WrestleMania with Randy Orton with the TNA impact. Like if you think about it, he's representing TNA. And in storyline, I guess people, okay, the main critique I've seen people do is like, really, you're gonna have him lose that quickly? But it's like, it's so simple as like the Mania spotlight is different. Mania is the biggest show. Maybe he got caught off guard, and that's when Randy Orton, unfortunately, is the guy who can capitalize off a moment. So I don't know.
He
It all
got caught
makes
up too much
sense.
in the lights.
Yeah,
Yep.
man. And then next Mania, you can tell the story of like, we all saw how that happened last time. I'm not letting that happen to me again. And then that's when you can start to take him seriously more as a Mania opponent. So,
So
there are ways. There are
bef
ways.
before we kind of move on to whatever, I just want to say, supposedly there's supposed to be some WWE people going to Rebellion this Saturday.
Is that a
They
TNA
haven't
show?
name dropped. Yeah, it's like their pay-per-view, but they said that there's supposed to be like some either a big name WWE or somebody from WWE is gonna be there.
Could be
So
Randy.
they could be Randy. We could see if they do something.
Okay. I have an idea. We just talked about this earlier with Dom. We don't know who's going to dethrone Dom. If he becomes a face, okay. But if he stays a heel, there's only one man that can dethrone Dom for that IC title and have it at
Mm,
Mania, which should be Joe Hendry.
mm,
Oh, okay.
mm,
If
mm.
you keep Dom as a heel, keep him doing heel stuff. Joe Hendry could be the man to defeat him.
Nah, I like your Ray idea better, bro.
I
L.
do like the Rhea
L.
idea,
L. No, I'm kidding.
but Joe at Mania winning that IC title would be great, I think. And I think that's the only man that can kill Dominic Mysterio's like popularity and kind of like play fire with fire is Joe.
That could be.
Possibly.
Ooh.
You never know.
That's interesting. I think you'd be walking a tightrope with that because depending on how
Yeah,
much like where Dominic is at is in his career and like how the fans like him, it could be a situation where maybe the crowd maybe turns on Joe because it's like who is this guy? Again, it depends on how you
But
play it, but no, I do like the idea of Joe eventually holding that IC title. I think that's a good wait for him to. Ooh, okay. No, you're cooking. I like it.
See,
I
all
like
this
it.
talk about a belt though. I want to know, am I getting the belt for our prediction though? I think it's rightfully so. I think it's
Wait,
rightfully so.
do we have like a real bell here or like? Because I think I was perfect on my predictions.
Let's get right into
Nah,
it. Let's answer that question. So so Ray's asking who
who
is
got this belt?
the inaugural first ever Kayfabe and Chill champion? Ooh, I like the way that rolls off the tongue. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get a little drum roll?
I don't think
Just imagine it. Put sounds or something
I
here.
don't know if you can hear mine.
I know that's
It's
what mine
very
is.
light. Your hand motions are throwing me off a little bit.
Make you think. Hold up, wait a minute. Pause a second.
Hey, we've been going through some stuff with this one, so
Literally
Look, I ain't trying to
pause.
be Kanye here. I ain't trying to be Kanye West out here. With my
elite better.
cousin. With my
Oh
cousin.
my God. That is something that coming back to the Kayfabe and Show Championship and just kind of wiping that away from my mind. Um, the winner is Mr. Cougar Connoisseur with
Oh,
Nah,
I
bro,
knew
that's
it.
rigged. Nah,
Exactly.
whopping
nah, I'm leaving.
whopping
That's rigged.
12
That's
for
rigged.
15. Hey man. Oh, he's big mad. Look at him. Look at him.
Nah,
He's so big mad.
that's
He's so
rigged, bro. That's
he's so
rigged.
big
Nah,
mad. He's big mad because
How many?
he tied with someone who picked Gunther over Jey Uso. He's just mad. Look at him. Look at him.
nah.
Look
You know what? That's it. That's why I met Haley and Rhea. Eat it and weep. All right.
All right, buddy.
at him. We just witnessed Ray's heel turn. Damn, who would have thought?
And then when we both marry Shakira, yeah, who's gonna be
Listen
laughing now?
here. Don't you dare
So
say that. Listen here.
does that mean that you two are then married to each other, or is it like Shakira's in the middle and you guys are two separate branches?
Cesco, I meant you and me, not Ray. Ray doesn't get marry Shakira.
Hey, hey, hey,
Oh,
hey.
hey,
Nah,
even
nah,
hey
nah.
man, we're here. We're here with that. Okay. Hey man. So yeah, sorry, real quick going into it. As you can see, the only
Yep.
two predictions that Ephraim got wrong were the Naomi one, which we all got wrong. That's another thing we didn't mention.
Yeah.
Jade winning. I don't know. I feel
I
like the
didn't like
crowd
that.
didn't love the match, and also I didn't
Yeah.
love the finish and who won. So, you
Naomi's
know,
intro was the best part of that whole thing. Not gonna lie,
yeah,
Yeah.
Naomi was
that
incredible.
was a badass intro.
Hmm. And Rhea versus Io versus Bianca. I feel like y'all rode with Rhea just out of like
Oh, look at
pure
this
like
guy.
ride
Look
or
at this
die.
guy.
There it is.
Nah, get this bum out of here. Take that
Of
off.
course,
Get him out.
of course, the kayfabe and show championship's got to have the spinner. It's got to have the spinning element to it for
Oh
sure.
yeah, right. I can give you one since you're little brother, but here you go. Here's your small belt.
Nah,
And
bro.
look,
Get
and
him
it
out.
spins too.
Wait, hold on. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Keep chatting it up.
Dang.
All I
I'm
need
gonna
is a
wait.
world belt.
I need a belt, bro. I need a belt. Wait, I got a belt. Hold up. I'll go
Well,
get
Chess
mine.
got his. I think he has the undisputed title.
I got mine. I just wanna, we're all showing our belts, so I'll wait for him to come back.
The red shirt. Oh,
So
nice.
y'all, when are we starting the match? Cause
Hey,
I'm ready.
it's belt to belt. It's belt to
you
belt.
got you got the final boss belt. That's what he got.
Ephraim, I want your soul.
I'm
Nah, man. So yeah, there it
gonna leave
is.
it right here.
There it is.
Don't hold it like John Cena does. Just
Insert RKO right here. Me RKO him. Just
The
insert
Ray
it.
KO.
Ray
the Ray
KO.
KO. Ooh.
Man, you just coming up names for me. I can't even think of that for myself.
I
Hey
can't think
man,
of this stuff.
let me be the booker for this steel cage match. I got some
Booker T
idea.
reference?
Hey, yeah, man. I don't do a great Booker T, but real quick,
Yeah, man.
just real quick, just zooming in on the different results here. What I did find interesting, what I did find interesting is that the Lyra and Bailey thing. Well, it was Bailey, but then it became Becky.
I'm like, does that one even count though? To be fair,
Ray,
they
you're not winning the belt. Get over
no.
it.
But to be
So
fair,
that
they switched that out on us
okay,
last minute.
so let's change the scores, shall we? It goes from 8 out of 14, 8 out of 14, and 12 out of
Hey, you know what?
14.
Never mind.
So,
We could keep it in there. We could keep it
we
in there.
recounted. Ephraim still gets the belt. Woo, things changed. Yeah. Or no, it's 11 out of 14. So we only lost by 3 as opposed to losing by
Yeah.
3. So yeah, man. Interesting. Hey, congrats to Ephraim. I'm gonna extend my hand and say congratulations to you, champ. You deserved it. The historian of the WWE KNC podcast. Well deserved. Congrats. Ray, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Dude's a bum. He had the script the whole time. He's cheating. Yeah, that's what I gotta say.
You can't cheat if you know how good I am.
No, buddy. No,
I don't
no.
need a Paul Heyman. I don't need a best friend. I don't need a wise man. I don't need a final boss. I don't need no chills on my hand. I'm just that damn good. The best there was, the best there is, the best there ever will be. And that's because Stone Cold, or I would say Ephraim, said so.
Bro, combine Bret
Because the
Hart
Cougar
and Stone Cold.
connoisseur said so.
Because you can't see me.
Hey Ray, this is
But
your time to hit him with a fine speech.
Hey, fine speech, buddy. You know, you can't see me. You
Oh
ain't gonna
sh
see me coming.
the glove, that's his Diddy glove. Don't get him confused with it.
him pulling out his Diddy glove in that moment.
Hey, you know,
You know?
Ray's about to come out like Solo Sokoa looking like the Weekend with the gloves and the red
I have
suit.
my
Next
suit in here
episode, I'm
somewhere.
excited.
It's somewhere in my closet.
You know, I was
I'm
thinking
excited.
too, our podcast is K&C podcast. But honestly, it's like it could be the Karrion Kross podcast because of K&C.
The Karrion and Kross podcast.
Yep.
Bro, calm
Very
down. He's
good.
gonna trademark it and then he's gonna sue us.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, man.
Don't give him
Karrion,
ideas.
Karrion, don't sue us, please. We're
Please.
big fans of yours. Just send us shirts. Send us t-shirts. We appreciate it.
And also, like, what would suing us give you? We don't have much, man. We don't got much.
I got some pretzel goldfish. Do you want those?
I
Yeah,
have a Spurs water cup in frame. You could have that.
yeah. I mean,
What's
all I
up?
really got this inhaler. Can have that, but I would kind of need it. That's something I kind of need. But yeah, so that's WrestleMania 41, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, give it a number, give it a rating. I think we're gonna go night 1 and night 2, and then the chat can just take the average of that and make that the overall thing. But who would like to start in terms of rating this thing out of 10?
I guess I'll let this cheater go first, you know,
You
let
mean
him
champ?
cheat. Like,
That's a champ right
no,
there.
cheater. Yeah,
Other
cheater.
ch word right there, champ.
Once you beam me, then you can call me whatever you want. But
I
you
low-key feel
haven't
like
yet.
I'm morphing into Ephraim's wise man. It's like that is the biggest box office
You're
draw
my
in
wise
KNC
man.
history.
You were my wise man. I remember we're like, who's who? And then you're like, I'm seeing, no, who was I? I was Roman. You were my wise man. And then this cheater right here turned you against me.
You know what
You got
happened? That's what
Matt. You're
happened,
fine. You
Ray.
got Matt. You have
Also,
Isaiah and Matt. You're fine.
you want to know what I found funny about that? Is like when he's hitting Roman, he goes back. And I'm like, dude, just low blow him. Why'd you have to go back like that? I'm like, what are you doing?
You want to
He's
get
trying to
one
get that
last
tribal. You
feel.
know what? The tribal meat.
That's like his last time, He's like, oh, it's like with the breakup, the breakup mess around where you're like, I'm gonna savor this one because I know this is gonna be it. So, hey, Ray, you were talking about was it you? Were you about to give?
Oh
Oh no,
yeah. I
yeah,
gotta give my rating. I forgot.
yeah,
The champ
champ,
has to give his rating.
Oh,
the Cougar connoisseur,
brother.
champ. Talk to him, champ.
Get this bum out of here. Get him out. Get him out. I don't want to see him.
Anyways, back to important matters. The champ speaking. Overall, I'll give the show only solely because of the main event for night one and all the match. I think they should put their matches killed on both shows. So I'll give it a solid. It's going to be a very low score, and people are going to have different opinions on it, but it's a 6.5 out of 10. I didn't like the show as much. It was kind of it was interesting. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
That's actually not as low as I thought you were gonna go, because 6.5 is about where I'm at as well. I would say you could sway me an extra quarter point, like 6.75, if you really like
Yeah.
talk me into, if you like describe, if you focus on the things I loved about it, because as much as the main event kind of soured the taste of it, the rest of the show is pretty cool, or just like passable. Like, oh, I can sit through New Day and War Raiders, sure. I can just sit through that. Or there was nothing like offensively bad. Well, let me run through the card real quick.
Well, we've
Yeah,
had
no.
worse WrestleManias too.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say is like I'm grateful as someone who had just gotten into wrestling. I'm glad to have witnessed my first mid-mania, because I have heard a lot about how
That's a good way to say it.
I've worried about whether I've been spoiled, because 39 incredible, 40
Night one
super
was
fun.
incredible. For 39, night one was phenomenal. Night two for WrestleMania 39 was just horrible.
Oh
Look,
yeah.
I want to give you a homework.
Nah, bro. I already have that for school. I don't want any more homework.
What's wrestling? So you might like watching this homework.
Whatever you say,
Fine, I'll
champ. What do you
take
got?
it.
What do you got for me, champ?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for acknowledging me, wise man.
He's gonna turn on you real soon. Watch. He's gonna turn on you real soon.
So he's raised to Seth Rollins in this
He's
whole
gonna
situation.
hit you like that. Watch.
Little
Watch.
old me,
He's gonna
little
do
old
that.
me.
And
No, I'm not
hello,
doing the
me.
Paul. No, I'm not doing the Paul Heyman Roman Reigns.
Nah,
No,
nah, 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 nah,
no
nah,
thing.
nah.
No,
You gotta
sir. I'm not
commit to
getting.
the bit.
I need y'all to watch WrestleMania 27, 28, and 29. And just like sporadically like skip through the matches and see what, to me, those are the worst three. Or I'm sorry, 26, 27, and 28. I'm sorry. 26, 27, 28. Or, yeah. Because
Okay.
besides the Shawn Michaels match at 26 and the Taker match, it was great. 26 was very 26 was very bad. 27 was horrible. I think 27 has been one of my worst manias I ever watched. And then 28's all right. 29's cool because I like the Punk and Taker match. That was good.
Mm,
But
yeah.
26, 27, and 28 to me are the worst three.
You're gonna have to put it in the chat, bro, because I just feel like you're counting numbers here, bro.
You gotta go all the way back to WrestleMania 26, 27, 28. There you go.
All right.
Yeah, because I watched the ups and downs retro with Simon Miller. Shout out to
Mhm.
Simon Miller. Very pro Simon Miller on this podcast. And yeah, I would just hear about there's some WrestleManias where I watch like the ups and downs he's going through the card, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. There's people that maybe I just don't know about, but he's telling me like, oh yeah, they were stupid hot at the time and this and that. And I'm looking at this card, and you have like, yeah, War Raiders versus the New Day, which is, you're like, oh, the New Day are legends, but War Raiders, they had the belt at the time. And I'm like, oh, I guess,
Wait,
what's up?
Chaz, can you look up the WrestleMania 27 card?
Yeah, I'll pull it up on the
No.
screen for. He turned heel on us. He really,
It only
damn.
took me 3 episodes, man. It only took me three.
No, it took you a champion, a real champion beating you, and because you don't know how to suffer a loss, you can't take L's.
You know what? Me and you at Backlash. How about that?
The champ puts his belt on when he wants to put the champ on the line, and the championship on the line.
Bro, call
I
this guy
mean,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, not showing up for anything.
I'm ready.
Nah, just
I'm
call
ready.
me.
I'm ready. Backlash, here we come. We're coming. Main
Nah,
event,
there's too
baby.
much there's too much favoritism. You can't.
Do you know what it's like to hold one of these? I don't think you do.
Look here, buddy.
It's okay. I'll give you the small one. I'll help your ego.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Here's
Anyway, I
WrestleMania.
could.
Okay, let's see.
Holy shit. Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler as
Yep,
I
which
don't
is
know if this
considered the
is
worst WrestleMania match.
I don't know if this is in order. I don't think it. Oh my God, Greg Khali winning over the top in a main event would be hilarious. But I'm guessing it's in random order, right?
Yeah, so look at that: Big Show, Kane, Santino Marella versus and Kofi Kingston versus the Core. Then look at
Okay.
Snooki, Trish Stratus, John Morrison versus Lay
Snooki.
Cool.
Jersey Shore
Exactly.
You know what? Again, and you mentioned mainstream is this was very much the era where Vince was just like, we're getting everybody. Anyone that wants to join, come through. Um,
Yeah.
even just for, I mean, Raven Simone, who I love. No, sorry, it's Raven Simone. Who I
Oh yeah,
love. That's so Raven. She was hosting, and there's that clip of her. It's like, whoa, I'm so happy to be here. Like, whoa, like
I
it's
was
so
just
obvious
watching
that
that the other day.
she had never watched WrestleMania, which like good on her, fair. But again,
So
yeah,
like
Snooki, Travis Scott.
even looking at these three matches right here, I want to say the only ones that were actually great were Randy and Punk,
Mm.
Taker versus Triple H. Cody and Rey Mysterio actually put on a great match too. That was when he was undashing Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
And then like you had Del Rio versus Edge in his last WrestleMania before he returned, and they just didn't have any chemistry. And then the Miz and Cena, like that's when The Rock came over and screwed John Cena.
Oh, is this when he was hosting? When he was
Yeah,
hosting, and then they set up. Yeah, 29 is once in a lifetime, right?
Yep.
yeah, I think that's 29 was part two, 28 was part one.
Okay, 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 got you. Twice in a lifetime. But yeah, okay, for sure. Yeah, I think again, what I meant to just coming back to it is, yeah, 6.75, 6.5. Um, I feel kind of indoctrinated into the wrestling fan. I feel like I earned a stripe. Maybe not all my stripes. I earned a stripe of, like, yeah, okay, the product wasn't what you wanted it to be, but we're still sticking with it and we're just gonna go from here, like I feel like that's part of a wrestling fan or any fan of like a longtime TV show is like they're gonna miss their plot beats that you feel like they could have capitalized on, and then but you're just gonna keep watching it and just hope that they right the ship. So yeah, 6.575 for me. Ray, where you at?
And and this is for all of WrestleMania or night one?
I think we said we're gonna do night one, night two, but I think let's just do the
No,
whole thing. Let's just do the whole thing.
the whole thing. Whole thing wise, I gave it like a 7 out of 10. Yeah, it wasn't the best, but there's like some matches like Naomi versus Jade, Fatu versus LA Knight that were like, oh snap, like okay, like they were very entertaining for what they needed to be. I don't agree with the results outside of Fatu. He needed the win. But like Jade and Naomi, I think Naomi needed that. But there were some moments where I was like, okay, it's not bad. Of course, the main event, night one saved it. I'm not gonna deny that. That was just, and then night two main event kind of was like, it exists. It exists. But
Mm,
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
I mean, I want to say like this: WrestleMania matches on night one, everything up to the main event was bad. On
Yeah.
night two, everything up to the main event was good.
yeah. Yeah,
I think the only
I wish they flipped it where we had just one amazing night and then just one dog shit night. That just leaves us completely like torn apart as like questioning our wrestling fandom.
You're like, who
But
the fuck
yeah,
booked the first show?
yeah, yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
slow part for night two for me was AJ versus Logan. Just because like once the interference came in, I was like, all right, like it was bound
And
to
also
happen. And
the match itself wasn't like I
it
hate to
started off
say it.
slow.
I hate to say it, but I think AJ might be going into his like not Celtic Shack, but Phoenix Suns Shack. Like,
Oh,
oh, you're
well,
start, he can still
you're almost
go.
there.
But he can't still go. Yeah.
No one should be ever that bad as Boston Shaq.
Yeah.
That Boston Shaq was bad. He just sat on the bench and just said, "Yeah, I'm here."
Hey, but 76ers Paul George is right up there as well.
Oh my god,
Podcast P, man. Podcast P.
Pandemic P. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
man.
God. Yeah, way off
Good
P.
time.
I loved all the clips of I think it was during the bubble where he shot a shot from the exact spot from the commercial where he's like ball game and he
Oh yeah, and
ripped the
he's
hell out
drinking
of
it.
it. Yeah, 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 yeah. And someone edited those two clips together where it's like him shooting, he's just ball game, and then totally breaks it. Beautiful, beautiful
Uh,
stuff.
Oh,
my my favorite part is when Jeff Teague talked about it on his podcast.
Yeah, that's what brought it to mind. Where someone apparently George Hill was like, "Hey, well, check this check this clip out, ball game."
And he's like right there. Like, Jesus Christ, that shit was funny. Like, I think Paul George too had the greatest moment of his career back in Indiana. And then once he left that, it was like, yeah, you're gonna get everything you fucking deserve.
I
Like,
think OKC is a second close after Indiana.
yeah. Oh, I mean, but I think what I remember that game he averaged like 8 points in
Yeah.
playoff series against the Jazz. I was like, bro, you're washed. Right
Yeah,
there, and I was like, you're
yeah.
washed.
And then the year before, I believe, was that's a bad shot. That's a bad shot. That like
Yeah.
Oh
it
yeah.
just built up
But
every year of like unlikability, and then now we're just like now you're just
Pandemic
a
P.
podcaster. Now you're just a full-time
Yeah.
podcaster, part-time NBA player. Like, what are we even doing here? So, yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention too, part of why that score, Ephraim, you said it was low, but again, I think of it as more on like the high scale. Because yeah, people really didn't like the main event so much so that they're like, man, Mania 41
I
sucked. Um,
I
uh,
think overall it wasn't a bad show. I think it was lackluster. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I said in the group chat, you go to a cookout and you expect everything to be seasoned pretty well, but then you see, a
Nothing
Karen,
seasoned.
not
Yeah.
that season. She's cooking the food, she's grilling everything. You're like, who the fuck said you can cook? Like, get the fuck out of here.
and then
Top tier referee.
and then it's your abuela, and you're like, uh,
What are you doing sitting down drinking a soda? Get your ass up and go cook. Like
Go
grandma.
season. Something.
Like I love my
Grandma, I'm
grandma.
gonna
She'll
get
kick
your
my
kid
ass
right
if she hears
now.
me. She's gonna kick my
He's
ass
like,
if
I
she
have to
hears
make
me.
this clear.
I
Like, I
want to
have to
make
make
this
this
clear.
clear.
I love you,
This is all
but
hypothetical.
never.
This is a
It's all
situation we just
Bro.
created.
See, because your grandma gonna get this right here.
Grandma
She's gonna get
Ephraim,
this.
we do not. Whoa. Wait,
She's like,
Grandma's gonna give Ephraim the belt. I thought you were saying something. I was like, Ray, hold up. How much of a heel turn are we doing here?
that's my grandma, right? You don't pull
It's
Alana and Rusev.
crazy. Oh my God. But I forgot what the whole point. Oh, what I was gonna mention is just like, um, the matches aren't just a show for me. The show is also the entrances, which were all top tier to me.
Yeah,
And also the gear was fantastic. Bianca's rose gear was incredible.
that was
Um,
amazing. Yeah.
yep, TV time with the Barbie doll entrances was sick. You had
Finn Balor looking like a banana man, top tier.
yeah, Seth Rollins with the
Dude, that was awesome.
fucking
I thought my thing
flamethrower.
crashed when he was on. I thought my Peacock crashed, and I was like, dude, come on, don't do this. And then it was
Oh yeah, I
he,
love the same shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then he comes back with the outfit change, looking as glorious as ever. And yeah, man, I think. And then, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. But for me, the best entrance of the night was not necessarily because of the entrance, but just the whole package of it. CM Punk with the entrance video, This Fire Burns, starting off with just like the piano version of it, and then you hear it go in full blast as he's saying the same promo he cut when he was what, 25, 26 years old. And
hmm
his
hmm
first main event, and that it really like the moment really hits you, of like, damn, CM Punk, as goatish as he is, man, this is his first main
getting his
event,
first.
and
Yeah.
he got to do it with his best friend,
Former
walking
best friend.
alongside him, former best friend walking alongside of him. So, um,
Um,
yeah, I guess did you guys just me? I would just want to bring that up before we get into the sharpshooter. Favorite entrance, favorite just non-match segment of the
um,
nights.
I mean, I want to go with Punk. Well, I think watching it too, because y'all know I love CM Punk. I went
Yeah.
from his Halloween. I have like I have some figures of CM Punk in my room. I have
The
T-shirts. I
logo on
have
our logo, you do indeed have the CM Punk.
yeah. You can even see it too. You can see me wearing the wrist tape. I remember watching that promo he cut in the promo in 2006 when he first debuted in ECW. I was the biggest CM Punk fan growing up, so I've always loved the Fire Burns. It was my favorite. Or this Fire. It was one of my favorite entrances. So seeing it live and hearing it come back made me like teary eye. My brother made a joke because my brother wasn't watching it night one with us. He watched night two. But he texted our group chat. He was like, "Man, I bet you he's crying right now." I was like,
Mhm.
"Nope," but I'm tearing up because hearing him walk out and seeing everything he's been through coming back. When he debuted in AEW, I was super excited. Everyone hated it. Oh, he's AEW. Da 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 da. And I was like, dude, I'm happy that he's just back. Like he left in such a horrible time. I mean, but I even seen him won the ECW championship and he used to feud with John Morrison. Like it's so much stuff that I've seen CM Punk grow, and over the time, seeing him win the world title, cashing in on Edge, I saw that stuff live, and I'm pulling Ung status on this, but it's like he's my Taylor Swift, and it sounds funny as hell, but I grew up loving the dude. You know, he made me stand up for myself and just love the dude. So hearing that music and him getting that moment made me go, "Yep, this hits." And that's what wrestling is. It's like he says, it's his only addiction is wrestling, and I think it speaks to the fans. It's an addiction. It gets to you.
Yep.
And I think people that watch it and understand us and like, oh crap, like da da da, they finally watch and like, yeah, this is an addicting thing to watch. And I think seeing that live and I don't know, it had me so many emotions. I think I watched it like 40 times after it came out. So I think yeah, there's a reason why I like this belt so much too. 434 days, 434 reasons why.
Mm.
But yeah,
Beautifully put.
so
Beautiful.
Fine
so
speech. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, love you, CM Punk, love you.
No, no, I mean, just, yeah, I think CM Punk, of course, I came in watching wrestling a little bit, like 2020-ish, 2021. So learning the history and then just learning about CM Punk I've always heard the name, just never knew the face. But it's one of those, like when you think wrestling, that's always the one. There's always the career he had, the short career he had in UFC, just, kind
Which I
of,
watched live too. Like that's how hardcore of a fan I was.
he's
Both
underrated.
matches, I streamed it. I watched it get his ass beat. And everyone was talking all this shit, and I was like, he'll be back. I know he'll be back and do something different. I even got the comic books he wrote for the thing somewhere in my room.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. He did that too. That's
Mm.
sick. Since we're on a little CM Punk Glaze session, I remember my first exposure to CM Punk was was my one of my very first WWE
Nope, my
videos
camera
was
fell
just
out.
okay, you're good. Is everything good? You're still with
Yeah, we're
us?
good. We're good. We're
Okay,
good.
you got a champ. I remember him him versus Cena when it's I think during the whole like Summer of Punk thing and he CM Punk starts railing on Vince McMahon saying like, "Oh, I think it was like after the negotiations when he came back. It's like, and then Cena comes in, and they start going at each other, and that whole like moment was the first time. But at that point, I didn't really understand wrestling. Again, this was maybe like, but this is pre-pandemic, and then fast forward, and I'm hearing about this whole him in AEW, and it's like the whole scene of him eating the muffin and Mindy's Bakery. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, these EVPs can't even manage a target and all that stuff. I just watched it recently, so it took me way back. Um, and I remember being like, why does everyone hate this dude? He's so funny. Like if I hated my employers, I would be talking shit about it too. Like good for him. And I remember trying to watch a video like explaining it, and he's going through all this history, and I'm just lost. I don't know all the history at this point, of like, oh, the Young Bucks and this is why he left WWE and Vince McMahon and all
Yeah.
this stuff. So it's all just kind of washing over me. Fast forward to now, and I watched that very same video, and I understood most of it. And I feel like CM Punk he to me is someone who, if you not whether you love him or hate him, but if you understand his story, you understand wrestling because there's a bit of it that's fun and that's, predetermined and very outlandish, but also there's a part of it that's real that involves him getting exiled from the business for 10 years and or exiling himself from the business and, you know, breaking his foot and breaking his elbow, brawl out, all that stuff that's real, is also wrestling. So to me, Punk is just it's gonna be a sad day when because I know we're closer to the end than we are to the beginning, and so I'm gonna be terribly sad whenever he decides to hang him up. But yeah, did we get to raise rating? Oh no, we did. I think we
Yeah,
did, right?
Yeah. We
yeah.
were on entrances.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite
CM
one?
Punk, CM Punk was a good one. Bianca's was really nice. Tiffy was another one.
I liked Ria's too.
Rhea's
The Batman Who
the man
Laughs
who laughed.
crown. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Mm.
Priest came out pretty cool
Oh
too.
yeah, with the Slayer dude, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, the entrances were really great this year.
I think
Uh,
also Triple H just said that he was going to make it more of an entrance base. Like he wants the superstars to
yeah.
feel big and outlandish during their entrances, which I appreciate and I love. I think that's so great.
Yeah, there's a whole reel of just that I watch of yeah, WrestleMania entrances. I don't know, Ray, if you're gonna get into this, but Cody's entrance
Cody with
was
the mask, dude. Oh,
You know what's funny about that? I looked down on my phone as soon as it went up, so I missed it. I have to rewatch that part.
dude, it was man.
it took me by surprise because I was like, oh shit, we brought back the mask, the suit is looking fire. And then it goes, I'm like, yeah, man, we're fucking bad. Like, I'm like, do I want Cena to win the belt? Because
I
this
know.
shit is
I was like,
fire.
nah,
And
Cody's winning.
the gear is fire too. The pants were like this like satin velvet type material, but I'm sure it was still like some sort of athleisure type gear. But I was like just noticing all the I'm big into the gear. Um, Bianca also had some great gear. So yeah, no, Cody, I'm just so sad that they made him look like they totally bitched him out in the way that the finish went.
Yeah.
Like they made him look so wimpy in terms of yeah, obviously the finish, but also just what happened afterwards, just him kind of scurrying away from the ring. Like I get you wanted to do some parallels between the last three manias to now he's on the ramp. But I don't know. I just don't like the way they did that. So I'm hoping and I'm anxious to see some retaliation on SmackDown.
Something big is coming for Cody. I just don't know what, how, when, why, but something big's coming for him. And I think we just got to be patient with Cody's story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let's start the news story. Let's start the news story. All right, man. You know what time it is. We already gave you like 2.5 hours. We're gonna give you a little bit more in this sharpshooter segment. Last sharpshooter, I had a lot of fun recording, and not gonna lie, that was a fun sharpshooter. So let's see if this is the WrestleMania 41 of of sharpshooter segments. Um, does anyone have a question locked and loaded?
I'll go off first. I mean,
All
since
right,
you're
let him
just,
go first.
you want to go, you want me to go first?
Yes, because I'm still trying to come up with mine. I always think like, oh, I have something, and then I think I'm like, nah, probably not.
Um, I mean, I kind of want to go over. I mean, let's keep it wrestling because I know the last 2 weeks we talked about music, shows, cartoon crushes. Um, I want to keep it where it's going to be wrestling this time.
Yeah,
Okay.
Don't
wrestling
feel like
is our world right now. This is like we're deep into. We just had our Super Bowl of WrestleMania, the Mania after Raw, the Raw after Mania was incredible. So no, I'm right there with you. I'm with it.
so. I know you guys are still a little newer to wrestling, so I don't want y'all to be like, oh, well, I don't want to pick a newer match. So don't feel like you have to compete. But I want to see what's your favorite type of match, like your favorite all time match that you've seen lately of
Like
AEW,
stipulation.
TNA. No, not stipulation. Like favorite all time match. Like people say Shawn Taker and you know stuff like that. Like to me, one of my
Hmm.
favorite matches of all time is always gonna be. Well, actually, let me flip it for you. What's your favorite wrestling rivalry? That's a better one, I would say.
Okay.
So for me first, I'm gonna go with CM Punk and Jeff Hardy. That's one of my all time favorites. Like those two guys put on great matches. I know now they really don't talk to each other much, which is kind of sad. But
Mm.
I don't know if y'all ever watched Night of Champions, and this started off when CM Punk, won his second Money in the Bank, and he
Okay.
cashed in on Jeff Hardy after beating Edge in a ladder match for the world title.
I've seen that
Because the
finish. Yeah, the
previous,
cash in.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the previous year Punk did it to Edge, and everyone was excited because Punk won his first world belt. You know what I mean? But it
Yeah.
was Edge. Everyone hated Edge. No one cared for Edge. By the way, I'm a big Edge head. I love Edge. Edge is one of my favorites too.
He loves
But
edging.
Hmm.
Yeah.
what? Excuse you. um, but when Edge won it, when Punk won it the first time, that was great. So the second time Punk won it, he cashed in on Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy was the biggest thing at that time. I think he just lost the WWE Championship a couple months prior. So I think he beat
Mm.
Edge to win the world title in a ladder match at Extreme Rules, which, by the way, great promo. Sick Puppies. I don't know if y'all know that band. That's a great band. But those two went to war in the ladder match, a great ladder match. And then Hardy finally won. He trapped Edge. He put his legs underneath the ladder, had Edge trapped. Great finish. Hardy grabbed the belt, won it. Punk comes out. GTS is Hardy. Hardy kicks out. Punk looks frustrated. He does it again. Wins the belt. The crowd immediately turned on Punk like the night after.
Mm.
And those two men put on I think three great matches. One on SmackDown when Jeff Hardy first left the WWE, and then one at SummerSlam, which is I definitely recommend y'all go watch that match at SummerSlam. It's a TLC match, I believe, and that match is great. Jeff and Punk go at it.
Ooh. I'm gonna load that
Yeah,
up.
Jeff,
I'm gonna load that up.
a great match. And then another one too, Night of Champions. Man, that's a great match.
Got you.
But that whole rivalry to me is one of my favorites. Just those two going back and forth with it. Punk being this scumbag, kicking the ref, like, oh, something's in my eye. Like, I can't see what I'm doing. And the match gets restarted, and Jeff wins the belt all over again. Them go to war at SummerSlam, and then the steel cage match. Like, it's just great. It's great just between the two of them.
Mm. I love it.
Hmm,
Ray, do
okay.
you do you do you have one already locked and loaded or?
Um, like if we're talking all time, I think, really Ray versus Eddie Guerrero, just because, I love those two. There's like even the child custody for Dom. That was a great one. But if we're talking recently, I think Roman and Cody, just the buildup that those two had for the past two Manias. Again, I know I'm coming in like a little bit like where some of them are like halfway through a rivalry or barely starting, so I missed out like Stone Cold and The Rock and or even The Rock and Cena, but
I
from what I've
mean,
searched
Cody
up,
Cody versus Rock is the Stone Cold and Rock, the Cena
nah,
versus Edge.
this time The Rock doesn't show up, so I can't count that as rivalry, man. But probably all time, probably just Ray and Eddie. But
Yeah.
recent, it would be Cody and Roman.
Got you. Well, you guys know me. I mentioned it on the very first episode. Big HBK guy. But also, I'm a big Bret Hart guy. So, obviously, one of the greatest of all time, the greatest there was, the greatest there is, the greatest there ever will be, versus HBK. There was real beef, and we've heard up and down about the Montreal screw job and every single aspect of that. So, I'm gonna put that in there. But I'll tell you what, the HBK and Kurt Angle as well. I just finished watching
That's a
that
good one.
whole the build and also the match. I watched all of that. But I'll tell you what, the kind of shifting your question a little bit, but still, I think it's still definitely up there. I have yet to really watch the match, but from what I hear, the match it kind of is underwhelming compared to the rest of the beef and the feud and the build towards it. The build that really got me into wrestling and the long-term storytelling aspect of it was Triple H versus Batista and Batista turning
Ooh,
on
okay.
Evolution. Um, Yes, the thumbs up and to the thumbs down, and I watched. You can watch it on YouTube. TH14 uploaded like the entire story in like three parts, all hour long, all an hour long, and it's like that to me has served as the blueprint for what wrestling is now in terms of like you get the little Easter eggs in the back. You get that scene where people don't talk about this as much as obviously the big thumbs up, thumbs down moment, but the segment right before was Rick and Triple H talking shit in the back of like, yeah, man, like let's do it. Like, let's have him go to SmackDown and he'll get the belt there and we'll stay on Raw and we'll do our thing. Like look at like Ric Flair glazing up Triple H. Oh, you're a genius. You're a mastermind. There's a reason you're the game. And then they pan back and you see Bautista just standing there like these motherfuckers, they're ready to turn on me, but I'm gonna turn on them. And like that to me, I think it's I don't know if what's your guys' thoughts on this statement, me being relatively new, but I feel like it's easier to turn someone heel versus turn someone face. Like to turn someone heel, you just start to see them get into the nefarious acts, start to be a little scummy, and then eventually you have that big turn moment. But turning someone face, I think has like a little more, there's gotta be like a lot more ingredients
A
into
fan
it.
reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
I mean,
otherwise,
like
if
what?
what's up?
Like one I want to say is Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Like I think they were trying to turn Nia Jax into babyface, and the whole
I heard
storyline
about
was like
this.
making Nia
Mm,
Jax like Alexa Bliss making fun of her weight. And I was like, that's not how you do that. Like that doesn't need to be something like you're making fun of a woman's weight, which is something that they're very self conscious about. Like I don't
mm,
know that
yeah.
aspect of it bothered me, and I was like, that's not how you get someone over. Like you don't need to be like high school because it's wrestling content. Like we don't need that stuff.
You could thank
Yeah.
Vince McMahon for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really bad one, and I remember like them saying that. Oh, big old scuffle between Rockets and Warriors right now.
They said that?
Big
Okay.
The
wait.
Rockets and Warriors getting chippy right now. They're like a big old huddle right now.
What score?
Oh. Oh.
80-99
Uh,
Rockets.
yeah. It's not
81.
even close. The whole you were just saying, yeah, so to me, Batista turning on Evolution to me is one of the greatest turns, both heel or babyface ever, just because um if you guys watch the video of like when you put it back to back to back to back, you see all the little C's and you see the moments like there. I remember there's a specific stretch where it looks like Batista is getting mad. It's like this whole you gotta um it's like a tournament to see who is gonna face. I believe it was Randy Orton for the belt or no, obviously it must have been Triple H for the belt. Something like that. And there's a tournament. Whoever can get the fastest pins can qualify to go. And you the whole time
Oh,
you're
beat
thinking
the
this is
clock.
beat the clock. Yeah, and the whole time you're thinking Batista's ready to turn. He outdoes Triple H, and there's this whole thing. And then all of a sudden Batista you find out it's a long con of Batista's actually still working with Triple H and like little fake outs like that where you're like, oh, okay. But then watching it genuinely turn into Batista turning into Evolution, I don't know. Like to me, the slow build, we make fun of it now with Triple H, especially. It's like, oh, long-term storytelling. And we're just 20 steps ahead, all this stuff. But to me, that story is probably why I still have so much faith in Triple H and his booking, because from what I can tell, Vince wanted to make that turn happen like there, and Triple H was like, no, let's of course, classic
Simmer
Triple H,
down. Yeah.
let's tease it, let's space it out, let's even it out, and let it build, and here we are, and so yeah, man, that's a great question.
You know when you talk high like that, you sound like Triple H. Right
It
there, that
was
high pitch when you said it. You sound like Triple H when you say that. You
you know
talk and he's all high.
what
Yeah,
we do in wrestling is
yeah.
it's
See,
it's what's
right there, that
best for the
little high.
business. Yeah. um yeah, okay, you know what, hopping off of that, sticking to wrestling,
Sticking to the restaurant. Okay.
what is your guys's who is the greatest entrance? Who has the greatest entrance in your guys' mind? I'm talking
Ooh.
music, the spectacle of it, the aura of it, maybe something they do. Who do you all time has the
Um,
greatest entrance?
Ray, you want to go first? You want me to go first on?
I'll let you go first. I gotta think of this one.
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy. Okay.
Jeff Hardy has the best entrance, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. People want to say Stone Cold, Randy Orton. Jeff comes out in that face paint, the glow in the dark. You just look up Jeff Hardy's entrance, you see so many different versions of Jeff Hardy. And then, like, I'm not even gonna kid you not. I was a big CM Punk fan growing up. I was also a big Jeff Hardy fan growing up. Those two are
Hmm.
my main guys: CM Punk, Jeff Hardy, John Cena, and Edge. Those are my four. Those are forever my four top wrestlers. I will always watch their matches. If they interconnect with each other, I will always be happy about that. But
Hmm.
I used to paint my face through the whole Jeff Hardy thing. That's how iconic Jeff Hardy's entrance was. Used to get the
Sick.
sleeves, used to rock out, and then used to have that Jeff Hardy beat, the Hardy theme song, the just the drums, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But then when he came out with No More Words during his big run from '08 to '09, I believe, that No More Words run, dude, that intro was burned into my brain as an 8-year-old kid.
Hmm.
Like all I can think of Jeff Hardy with the face paint and the aura, like him just he had the aura before Roman had it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bigger
Jeff
than
Hardy was
Brock.
that power. There you go. There's a quote bigger than Barack Obama. Like
Hmm.
Jeff Hardy had that entrance, and he'll come out just throwing his hands up, his hair just swinging, all crazy looking, and just being different. I think that's what made Jeff Hardy's entrance so cool. I think that's always gonna be my all-time favorite. Anytime I hear it or I see Jeff Hardy wrestle, I'm like, I'm watching his entrance. I do not care. Like his face
Hmm.
paint, it's so cool. Like we even saw it at TNA.
Yeah. That crowd, dude. As soon as they hear like
The
the
Hardy's theme.
the Hardy's theme, bro, that crowd just erupts. It
I
doesn't
even like Matt's
matter.
entrance too. Like Matt's,
Yeah.
I can say for Tornado theme song. Like I was a big Matt Hardy fan too. So I mean, I would just say Jeff. That was one of my all-time favorites.
Beautiful.
Uh, for me, of course, like I said, I'm gonna go always Eddie. That lowrider, dude, like just you're gonna go down, like you're gonna jam out. You got lowrider in there, you know.
Viva la
Uh,
raza.
yeah, Viva la Raza, you know.
Hmm.
But another one really is just Roman, just whether it's the new one, the old one, just like that aura, like like hey, this dude's about to come out here and do his thing. Like
Throw your ones up.
everybody has the ones up, just plain and simple.
You
Even
know what's Ray? Sorry to cut you off. You know what's funny about that? We talked about entrances about WrestleMania. I was thinking about Roman. Roman didn't even need one. He
yeah,
didn't need
like
no
just his
special
music.
entrance. Yeah, he walked out, and that's aura for me. He just had it.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, here comes our OTC.
Yeah, that it's exactly what I was gonna kind of tie it to. Like, you don't even need to do much. Just that music, just the character he is already. You already know, hey, one's up, time to put him up. Uh, yeah, I mean, uh, Jeff Hardy's a good one. Edge, when he was in there, it's pretty good.
I want to say the Brood. I don't know if y'all know the Brood.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. With the
The
fire and they're
Brood
coming up
entrance,
in the
yeah.
yeah.
Gangrel, Edge and Christian, like those
Oh,
are
that one, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
that was
I
a
took
cool
it out.
entrance
Yeah.
too. Like that was an honorable mention for me is the Brood. I've always liked their entrance.
Hmm.
Okay, that's a good one too.
One that comes to mind just because you mentioned like you don't need much, you just need them, their presence. Um, I think of Randy Orton and his entrance at Bash in Berlin with just that
Ooh.
camera, the soft focus on the background, and he's just the 52K camera that they used, which was incredible. And he's just walking, and you know the music, voices playing, and you're just and everyone's screaming along to it. Yeah, man, like to me the entrance it's like it builds the atmosphere for the rest of the for the fight, you know, again like the big match feel, you know, like that's definitely part of the thing of boxing, like the entrances. So for me, I, man, I think an entrance that really sticks out to me. Oh my God, my ADHD brain is totally just blanking out. I had the answer locked and loaded while the whole time you guys were talking, and I just totally blanked out. So we can come back. I'll come back to it. I'll just interrupt
I have
Ray.
one more to add.
Yeah, yeah,
Kane's entrance, bro.
yeah.
Just having him do the fire and the guitar, dude.
I also want to say the Shield. The Shield
The
had a badass
Shield,
entrance.
yep, that's
When you
another good
Yeah,
one.
through the
when you heard
crowd.
Sierra Hotel, yeah, like you hear it, you get like, oh fuck, we're fucked.
You know what it was? I'm glazing them mad heavy today. Come on now. Come on now.
Hulk Hogan. It's Hulk Hogan.
Oh, Batista, yeah, Batista had a good one too.
I was about to say that one too, Batista.
Hit him with the every time he hit that little extra boom, and you're like, yeah, man. And of course, there's that one video. I think it was maybe might have been the Raw after Mania or something like that. But with the all white turtleneck with the chain,
Oh
sunglasses,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
If you
pyro
gotta
as
go as
bright.
that for Halloween, you have to go as that Batista for Halloween.
Say no more. Hey, for the Halloween special, because we are, I'm gonna have to check the calendar and see like when Halloween falls on. But whenever, wherever, whatever Wednesday it is before Halloween or after, or hopefully before or on. No, we're gonna have a Halloween special for
The
sure.
followers should vote. Who should we go as?
Oh, that's a good question.
Hmm.
We have months to decide.
We can figure this out. We can figure this out. If we're open to suggestions in the chat. Um, we go as Brood. We just wear the white polo with the thing and the vampire teeth. Um,
At Cog Gangrel. At Cog Gangrel. I want to be drinking the fake blood.
shit. I'll take a. Oh, also honorable mention: Travis Scott, greatest Mania entrance of all time.
Top
Um,
tier. Can't go wrong with that one. His
I
feet.
had one too in my hand. It kind of like slipped out when y'all were talking about I don't know, I forgot what it was, but it was something along the lines of best entrance. I'm trying to think about
Smoke
it
and
now.
Mirrors is another good one.
Cody had a good entrance.
Cody,
Presentation
yeah.
wise, I don't know.
the games you can't go wrong with Triple H.
Triple H always has some
Mm.
cool ones, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ooh,
the one with the Terminator armor was so random, but also like really sick when you
it
look.
fit.
Obviously, everyone
Yeah,
talks about the crown and where he's like getting carried up, and that one's really great as well. But that Terminator one, I think it was 33. No, 31. 31 was sick.
yeah, with Sting. With Sting, yeah. Sting had a cool one too. The Crow.
Dang.
Like,
Oh
"Arr!"
yeah. Yeah. Oh man. So yeah,
dude.
best entrances, y'all. Ray,
Is it yeah.
we got you, man.
All right.
What questions you got? He's still trying to come
Since
up
we
with
keep
it.
it in wrestling,
He's still trying to come up with. Look at him. Look at him. He's trying to talk to
He's
us
like,
all time. He's like,
nah,
my
I
question
got
is,
one.
I've been thinking about my question for a long time. I got my what I want to ask you guys is for your
Is
guys'
why did
approval.
Ephraim cheat in our little thingy? No, I'm kidding. Since, we've talked about a lot of current, past wrestling, you have to come up with it on the spot. Who is your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers?
Oh
And who
shit,
is
we're
your
going.
Mount Rushmore of wrestlers?
We
And it
going
has to
to
be
the.
right at the spot. This was gonna be a question that we're gonna ask later on, probably, but right now, at this very moment, your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Okay.
wait, can you hear me? Okay, go ahead, I can hear you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll go first because the historian, I'm sure, will have a very informed answer. And I want to go before
Wait. What was his question?
Mount
Mount Rush.
Rushmore of wrestlers right now.
Okay.
You-
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's all
I
Joe
want to.
Hendry.
It's all just it's just Joe Hendry with four different expressions.
And
Um,
Logan Paul.
Hulk Hogan's on there, I feel like.
oh man, because Hulk Hogan. I mean, it's tough to not include him because he 80s
Wait,
wrestling. You think of what's up?
Ray, I need to know what are we doing based off of pop, ticket sales?
And also, is it our personal Mount Rushmore, or we're
Yeah,
trying to
you're
Yeah.
make
personal. Not
the,
not
Okay.
like a company off of ticket, just your personal Mount Rushmore of
got
wrestlers,
you.
whether it be past, current, whatever.
Okay. Okay, that makes it easier for me. So I'm gonna go
Okay.
HBK, Bret Hart, um, Taker, which I know Ephraim doesn't have might find some controversy with. And shit, damn. I gotta acknowledge the OTC. I'm putting Roman Reigns in there,
Roman Reigns?
man.
Okay,
Because if we're
okay.
talking about, people will make fun of this statement coming from a newbie, obviously, but I do buy into the whole like this is the biggest wrestling has ever been, just in terms of the numbers and all this stuff that they'll tell you. Um, and a big reason why is because of all the storylines that Roman Reigns, has kind of started, or sort of played a big part in. And like you think of Sami Zayn, you think of, every single bit of the bloodline, um, and their effects on different people. Cody Rhodes and
Yeah.
the Mania 40 moment. That was, Roman was the other half of that. Mm, so to me, if we're talking about who is the Mount Rushmore of the modern era, who is the entry for that? Yeah, 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 yeah. And I don't
All right,
really think.
Mr. His
My turn.
yeah, Mr. Historian.
And well, I'm gonna agree with Cesco's one of his picks. It's gonna be Roman Reigns.
Okay.
Roman Reigns is a needle mover. He right now is a total package. If you would have said this in 2016, 17, he would not be on there.
Yeah.
But ever since he came back from missing by WrestleMania, he's on a different level. His promo skills have been 100 times better than they were before. Everything about him screams main event star. He's not no little scrawny big dog that wants to run around and just spear everybody and take off. No slithering scissor tats. I think Roman has moved the
Suffering.
needle. He's changed the game for a lot of different ways and reasons. So Roman is agreeable, and I'm very old school. I think other wrestlers should be um are great, but no one's on Roman's level.
Okay.
Um, Roman's on there. John Cena will be on there as well. Mr. 17,
That's true.
17-time
Yeah.
champ. Man's done a lot for the business. He's carried the entire company on his back for pretty much a long time. He has a CVS receipt of accolades. 17-time champ. I think like a 4-time US champ.
Hmm.
Never held the IC title.
Also, just
Tag
completely
team
just
champ.
carried the company throughout
Yep.
2000s and 2010s for
Man was
sure.
not supposed to be the star he's supposed to be now that he is. Ruthless aggression, the prototype to Mr. Thugonomics, to Mr. Champ himself. Johnson deserves to be on that Mount Rushmore now. And for Jonathan to say Roman Reigns is the GOAT also solidified me to put him on that GOAT conversation as well.
Okay.
Mm.
So Roman, Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
Uh, Stone Cold should definitely be on there.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of liking wrestlers that are way overhyped. That was a big thing for me growing up. And my family loves Stone Cold. My grandma had the hugest crush on him. She had all the figures of him. She's like, he's so handsome, right? And my dad used to say, that's grandpa. That's how grandpa acts. That's my grandpa was bald, drink beer every day. What? What'd you say, mijo? Huh? What? Goatee and everything. He was a Mexican Stone Cold, the way we said it.
I love
But
that.
he was a Stone Cold is iconic. You hear that pop and it goes crazy.
The
On a rare
So
Stone
chance, you
Cold
might get
Pop.
hit by an RV.
What was
what'd you
that?
say, Ray?
I said on a rare chance you could get hit by an RV.
But you want to be hit by Stone Cold. That's the
Exactly.
thing. And
Hey man,
Stone Cold's on the that. Go
Stone
on, go on.
Cold Pop is a phrase. Like that is a
Yeah,
thing that people say like,
that's the thing.
"Oh, you got a crazy pop? Oh, you got that Stone Cold Pop though?" I don't think so.
Stone
Yep.
Cold. Like I said, we were talking about the Alliance last week about the Civil War. There's a part where like I think WCW and ECW are beating the shit out of WWF, and Stone Cold's going through this arc where he's not, able to compete or wrestle. He's going through like different emotions. He can't do what he needs to do. And I think WCW it's invading, and Stone Cold's like, "Fuck this!" Like he gets up, throws his beer, drives to the arena, and starts fucking up everybody. But once that pop hits, damn, that crowd went crazy. I don't know if you
Mm.
could pop it up. I don't know if we're gonna get copyrighted for the YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
But watching that clip alone is kind of like, yep, that solidified Stone Cold to be like the top star in my eye.
Yeah. Also another
Um,
real quick, super quick, another amazing pop that everyone knows about is what was it, Mick Foley versus someone in a lumberjack match where everyone was kind of parading around. Was it a lumberjack match or there was a bunch of people surrounding him? And I remember just it's like a wide angle from above,
Mm,
and you hear the glass shatter, and everyone just stands up, and Stone Cold comes out with like a long sleeve and a hat, and he just comes in. Oh,
yeah,
it was Mick Foley
that
versus The Rock. That's what it was.
for the
Um,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
That's when he won. That's when Mick wins the belt, and WCW shoots themselves in the foot for that. That's
Mm,
the Monday Night War. WCW don't turn
yeah.
into wrestling Raw or whatever because Mick Foley has won the belt, and
And
that
then
fucking screwed him over big time.
everyone's like, I kind of want to see that. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like,
All
yeah,
right.
I'll tune into that. They're like, thank you for that.
Yeah,
And
your
then
fourth
for
one.
last one, it varies just because I want to leave the spot open for many other wrestlers, but I want to make this a controversial pick because I like being controversial. I learned from my wrestling dad, CM Punk here. I want to put Becky Lynch up there.
Oh, okay.
I love that. Explain.
I think Becky is a star. Becky's always been a star, just given the right character. And people say she copies The Rock and Stone Cold through her characters and her finishing moves, but Becky has a certain aura of where she doesn't need to be in the misses at all times. She's able to come back and create stars on her own.
Yep.
And Lyra, she's doing that with Lyra. She did that. She tried to do that with Tegan Knox, Piper Nevin. She did it with Liv. I know her and Liv and Rhea had a great rivalry, but Becky is a catalyst for that. Rhea and Becky at WrestleMania 40 was the most hyped match that I've ever been for a match in
Hmm.
a long time. Becky carried that woman division through tough times. Um, I don't say Charlotte. I don't love Charlotte for many other reasons, but Becky goes in there and does what she needs to do, and she creates stars from one match. I think that's why I put Becky as the fourth spot. It also varies from Rhea. I think Rhea is the next top star too. I think out of I didn't want to put women wrestlers at the Mount Rushmore. I think they should be on top of this with John, Roman, and Stone Cold. Like Rhea and Becky are like a very switched with me in my head. Because some days I'm like, damn, Rhea's a star. Damn, Becky's a star. Like, damn, these two are like generational talents that we're never gonna see again.
Hmm.
Like those two can hang with the men and not, they won't budge. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They stay there. They can handle the
Yeah.
pressure being the top dog.
I love that. It's not just women's, like, oh, they're the best of the women's wrestlers. They're just great wrestlers, period. They're in that conversation
Mm-hmm.
for sure. How I think of it is like if going to a quick little NBA comparison, if Becky is the LeBron of women's wrestling, Rhea is the Wembenyama, where you're like, you're built different. We see it in you so clearly that you're about to be amazing. Just keep being you. Just keep doing what you're doing. Um, and you're gonna be right up there with Becky and yeah, there is a case to be made that she's already in that class, in that
Yeah.
rare air, for sure. So it's just a matter of time before I think it's just for Rhea, it's just like you want to see the impact she has on the rest of the division, and she's still kind of building herself out, still like kind of locking herself in. This Bianca Rhea feud is gonna go crazy. Can't wait for it. But yeah, man, hey, very.
Solid list. That was a
This is
solid.
why I went first was because I wanted to throw mine out there real quick, just kind of dodge and dip, and then let Ephraim do his thing. So yeah, man.
Okay.
Ray, let's hear your.
Nice.
I have a. I'm locking in a guess. I know for sure one of
It's all
those
Logan
entries.
Paul.
Yeah,
It's
It's
all Logan Paul.
it's
it's
just Logan.
Ryback,
It's Logan
Oh
Paul
my
in three
god.
it's
different
Del
prime
Rio,
bottles.
Oh my god.
Ryback, Del Rio, Logan Paul, Hulk Hogan, and no, I'm kidding. Um,
He's not kidding. It's actually true.
Yeah. Anyways, that's been Kayfabe and Show, guys. Welcome in.
We'll catch you later. We're out of here.
um, well, one just kind of piggybacking off Eddie. When you think charisma, when you think, of fan reception, Eddie's gonna be one, whether he was a heel or a face. He was always somebody that the fans wanted to see. you hear either the phone ring or Viva la Raza or the lowrider, whatever the case may be, it was sure to get a reaction. Uh, Roman would be another one. I talked about it. The aura he has as soon as his music hits, you don't even got to do nothing. He doesn't need a, gimmick to be, dancing in his entrance, going to the crowd. That music hits, you throw your ones up.
Mm.
Um, Cena, I mean, we've seen it. Even when he's trying to be bad, the fans love him. Hate him, love him. He's still the guy that carried the business, carried a lot of people's childhood, is well known even outside of WWE. John Cena's that guy. And the fourth, that is tough. Because if you brought up a good point, Stone Cold is one of those when you think, hey, pop that glass shattering. We saw at WrestleMania. As
Yeah.
soon as that thing hit, that place exploded. Stone Cold would be one that I would put, but I think just because of recently, I've been looking at it is Triple H. When you think of how he changed from Hunter Hemsley to now Triple H, the game, at that time where wrestlers were fighting through injuries, obviously we know when he tore, I think he tore his
His
try
quad.
his quad. There you go. I was thinking Vince with the other one. Uh, oh
God
yeah,
damn it.
but when you think of Triple H, like seeing the injuries and how his career was kind of cut short at a time where it felt like he could have done more. We even see today, could he even be still a wrestler with the guys like Randy and Cena and maybe even CM Punk, who, despite their age, they're still doing great things for the business. Um, do you think of the many not only rivalries with like
Sean.
Evolution, like
Yeah.
Sean? I was thinking, I was like, is Sean one of them? Sean, or even just D Generation X. You see like the history that we saw for the Hall of Fame and all that. Just I think he's one of those you got to put up there. Honorable mention wise, I think Mick Foley would be another good one. Just
Oh,
seeing how that
yeah.
dude was like
Interesting.
he was a beast in the ring. He didn't care if he got injured. We even, the Hell in a Cell match gets thrown over the top and gets back like, okay, I still got a match to fight. Like I still gotta do something. I think that'd be another great one to add, but it would be Eddie, Cena, Roman, and Triple H.
Great. I love our Mount Rushmores. Love that there's no presence of a certain bald fraud that undoubtedly has
You
had
know,
a lot of impact on the business. But
After this
if we're talking
week,
about
he got
our,
kicked off the list.
look, I think The Rock is the funniest man. I get most of my presence from The Rock, the way I make fun of people and I talk about people. I talk like The Rock, so there's no like hate towards that part. I think he was great during his time. I think but the way he's been coming back and going in and out, like at least Cena's giving us, this run. You know what I mean?
Mm,
People are like, oh, well, Cena did it. I go, but Cena understands the story point to perspective of wrestling.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go watch a movie that had fucking Joker and Batman fighting each other, and that's the main plot. All of a sudden, Spider-Man comes in and is like, okay, I'm here, and then leaves. Like,
Heck yeah.
how the heck does Spider-Man come into this world? First of all, you have all these questions. Like, that's
yeah.
what The Rock is doing. He's making all these appearances and cameos and saying, "I am the hierarchy of power. We're gonna go fight Superman." You're like, what? Aren't you supposed to be fighting Shazam?
Yeah, but
It's
yeah.
Dwayne. Dwayne ruined The Rock for us, it sounds like. Um, yeah. And also
Ooh,
very surprised.
oh
What
my god!
happened?
I'm watching the Jimmy Butler hit. Oh my god, he fell hard.
Oh,
I
bad
looked like he
bump.
broke a tailbone, like a
Yeah.
tailbone. Like yeah, ugh.
I heard, yeah, I saw a pelvic contusion. So I hate, total quick sidebar before we wrap things up. I hate in basketball when someone, when they do like a pump fake and someone jumps over them and then they kind of do a
Yeah.
Yeah.
flip over, like they kind of get
Dude, I
Yeah.
undercut.
hate that.
I hate when
I
they do
hate
the
that.
instant replay because they slow-mo the impact of your fucking head or whatever, your knee or ankle. I don't know. I hate that stuff.
The one I hated was the Zaza Pachulia and Kawhi Leonard, where he lands
Yeah,
on his ankle and they see it. That one hurt me. I was like, ugh.
we
He
don't need to
doesn't
see
want
the
to
replay.
admit it. He doesn't want to admit it. I told him San Antonio would have won that series, and I told him that he was like, actually, no. I was like, all right,
What that we had a 30
Hey,
point lead on them, right?
yeah,
hey, shoulda was a rooster. What was it? Shoulda was a what rooster? What's the thing that our truth
There's a
says?
quote, yeah.
Hey, shoulda, coulda, woulda. All I see is that beautiful championship ring in 2017. Went to the
all
parade, had a
right,
great
buddy.
time. You play the team in
Look, we
front
would
of
have
you.
took it.
You play the
I feel
team
like
in
we would
front
have
of
took it
you.
game 7. I think we would have taken them to 7.
I see 7. Yeah, I see 7. We would have won and beat the Cavaliers, though. That's all I'll say.
And
Hmm.
everyone would be that Cavaliers team. That team was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
Um,
2018 Rockets. That we were the Lord knows we were a game away, a couple shots away from losing that series. They probably would have won
And
the championship that year. Then Chris Paul,
Chris
a
Paul went down.
hamstring away. Yep.
That was a wild game.
A tale as old as time. Chris Paul failing when it matters most. You gotta love it.
hey,
You
hey,
gotta love it.
hey, we played 82 games this season. That's all, you
When
know.
no one needed it, when he didn't need to win
I
and
know,
play
no one.
82 games.
That's what I said too. And he
When it
got
was
the thing.
when
I
it
was
was
like, what?
when the record doesn't matter, when we're not trying to win, we sure I'm here all 82 games, sir. I'm here, coach. What you need? What you need? And when it's time to play, when the boys become men, when the legends, when you print the legend, nowhere to be found. Probably got a torn hammy while we're at it. The one I think about is was it Clippers versus the Spurs? I think 2017, where Chris Paul hits a game winner, and I think it was the same play where
Oh,
he
that was 2015 playoffs. I remember that. I was watching
For
it at
Tim Duncan, right?
yeah. I was
Yeah,
watching it at Chili's, and I was so mad he hit that fucking shot
dude.
yeah.
Don't give me flashbacks, bro.
off that
But
floater,
then,
bro. Off that floater.
but at least for some consolation, he then proceeded to miss every single game of the rest of the playoffs. So, there's some consolation in that. Um, yeah, that's one thing I realized. This podcast, we haven't really gone into other sports other than sports entertainment. So that'll be something as I'm sure there will be some cold weeks going ahead. Um, we'll start to branch out a little bit. Maybe
Look,
go
we're
over
better than
some.
Stephen A. And we're not going to talk about Shannon Sharp right now because of things he's going through. But we
Yeah,
are better
that's
than
a
Stephen A. and Skip Bayless. We give fair opinions on this show. If your team sucks, your team sucks. If your team's good, we'll tell you your team's good.
Yeah.
But we're
gotta
not going to
confirm.
sugarcoat it. And we have mixed opinions on LeBron James, but that's a different story.
That one we could talk like
Wait,
hours
between you
on.
two, you two have very different opinions on LeBron.
Look here, buddy. We just had a whole WrestleMania recap. We're gonna go like 5 hours now.
Because y'all know me, I'm a Warriors guy, I'm a Steph guy. We've been going head to head against LeBron, and I have very deep, deep rooted feelings about LeBron.
What do you
With
mean, just you? We played them on the Heat, the
no,
Big
Yep.
you're right,
Three
you're right,
Heat.
you're right. Yeah, 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 yeah,
We
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we got the worst of it, bro. Prime LeBron.
Also, 2007 LeBron too. On
Yep.
Yeah, 2007 LeBron. We got Baby Braun.
yeah,
We got
yeah,
baby
man.
Braun, prime Braun. Now we just got old Braun.
Shit. All right, well, that'll be an episode, the LeBron episode. I can't wait for that one. But that has been the Kayfabe and Chill show after Mania. Again, shout out to our champ, our Cougar connoisseur, the inaugural first time winner for the Kayfabe and Chill
The glove.
championship belt. Um,
Boo!
Congrats to you, sir.
Boo!
We do not deserve
Man,
you.
get that
Thank
spin
you for
out of here.
blessing us for the
I will defend it at SummerSlam for the next big pay-per-view.
wow, a defending champion as well. Oh my gosh.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
it because it's gonna be gone. Because I'm gonna win.
Okay, we'll,
Oh.
we'll we'll see about that. I'm not that confident in you winning that, but all right.
And there you go. The feud is set. This season of Kayfabe and Chill, we know what the main plot line is. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Hope y'all have maybe some picks y'all want to respond to. But yeah, that's been Kayfabe and Chill. That's Ephraim. It's Ray. And we'll see y'all around.